Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. My name's Mark Reed, and this is the Reading Room. Of course, it is. Where else would you be? Um, Today, this was a really impromptu stream, so I do apologize if I have very little organization or anything sort of prepared or planned out. Um, yeah, I just decided to do this stream because I did at the 666 mark, which if you were there, that was a great stream. That was a lot of fun. I promised to do a 777 stream, and today I make good on my promises, as I always try to do, at least try. So here I am trying for a 777 stream, and it's so good to see everybody. So good to see you. James W, it's fantastic to see you. Thank you so much. Yeah, and Wilberforce says 777 doesn't apply now. Yeah, I blasted through it. I absolutely blasted through it. I was kind of sitting at the 700 and sort of 60 something, and I was like, oh, I got to do that stream soon. And then suddenly I'm at 800 and something. I can't even keep my eye on it, to be honest with you. So yeah, I kind of blasted through the 777 mark up to a large number, mostly due to my invasion of of Praise's room and taking on Mr. Hovand, as I like to call him. Which was so much fun, and I really enjoyed that a lot. So maybe I might bug Mr. Hovand a bit more. Maybe I'll be his nemesis. And of course, Jamie. I think this is really poorly planned. I think James W has a debate on as well. So do check that out if you do want to. It's not a problem. I might, if nobody comes in, I might put it up. But what I might do is open up the room good and early. Have the celebration going. We've got to celebrate the small things. We've got to celebrate small victories and tiny little things. Just because you spend a lot of energy in when something negative happens, even if it's something small, right? Like sort of you lose your car keys, or somebody does something horrible and awful. You spend a lot of energy on it, and this was told to me by, I think it was a yoga teacher told this to me, that we don't spend a lot of energy on the positive things, or enough energy on the positive things. We just go, oh yeah, I've done that. That big deal, doesn't mean much. But the small things that are bad, we spend a lot of energy on. I can't believe that guy just did that on the road, and it's just the stupidest thing. So the question was, why spend energy on the bad and not the good? Let me get an invite and put it up, because I really want to talk to people today. I feel like talking to people. So anybody's welcome. Any subjects welcome. I'd love to be challenged on something. I'd love for somebody to say, hey, you're wrong. Spending energy on bad things is perfectly great. Let me just, wow. But no, I'm a professional YouTuber. I really am. So professional. So professional. It's great. I'm going to get a pop out for my little chat here so I can keep an eye on them. How are you guys? How are you guys? Taoism is awesome. Big Bad Mama, it is beautiful to see you. Taoism is awesome. Yes. 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 They say your first 931 is the hardest. Hey, John Rapp. John's amazing. John's really good. He's always causing trouble in the streams, the theist streams that I go into. It's great to see. Always causing trouble. And by trouble, I mean difficult questions that, people who believe in God can't generally answer, which is, some of the best questions that I think, some of the best questions. So let's pop this out. Yeah. Oh, it's wonderful to see you, AJ. Thank you. You're wrong about the word. I don't think I am, but we'll check it out. I'm more than happy to. And Nanalu, so good to see you. Zach, thank you so much for being here. So good to see you as well, Mr. Colby. Jackpot, absolutely, yeah. Look, absolutely. I'm the most surprised out of anybody. Trust me. Yeah, I am surprised. I'm delighted. I mean, I love everybody. Um, I'm just gonna pin that. I love everybody coming around, and people have been so supportive. And Wilberforce, yeah, you're fantastic, Wilberforce. Wilberforce has actually sent me some stuff before, like yeah, get you are the first, you'll be the last. Let's see. His fire is within you. Have you forgotten? His kingdom is within. Do not look for him coming in the cloud. I'm sorry. This may be just the way I'm reading that, but does God come in clouds? Is God into some weird shit? Like, is God coming in clouds? Is that okay? Okay. Hey, look, I'm not going to yuck someone's yum. All right, I'm not gonna, sort of say, hey, you could only, come in certain receptacles. I'm not going to say that. If he wants to, you know, hey, look, man, most people use a sock. If you want to use clouds, I'm not going to judge you. Like, seriously, come on now. Come on now. Oh, Salji marked for PM. Yeah, I've never considered a life in politics. I don't think I can lie enough to be PM. Salji, I don't think I can. I don't think I can. I don't think I can. If he's coming in clouds, that at least does explain rain. It's the divine Bukaki I was talking about. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. 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 Divine Bukaki. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Um, and I don't know if anyone wants to join me. What I might do, I might line up and just get ready. Um, just a debate or a video or something. I haven't seen Snake Was Right debated Hovind recently, and I haven't seen that yet. So that's probably where I will go. Like play the debate and give some commentary on it if nobody comes up. Oh, hello, Madman. Maybe that's what clouds are. You got it. You got it. How clouds are formed. We were wrong. All science was wrong all this time. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I try to be nice. Use a sock. No, I don't. I don't. I don't use a sock. Thanks, Big Bad Mama. Thank you for pointing that out. No, no, no. Oh, and welcome, Wilberforce. How you doing, mate?
Hey there, Mark. How's it going?
Yeah, yeah, good, good. Fantastic, actually. Yeah, I
We gotta,
it, seven,
we gotta figure out better lighting.
look, mate, like we were talking with there's a Calvinist I know called Will, and he's a lovely guy. I think he has some bit of a weird, sort of views on things, but he's
Well,
a
he's a
lovely guy.
Calvinist.
Well, yeah, Calvinism is this weird sort of no free will sort of thing, kind of, you know, the saved will be saved and they've been chosen. It's a very weird thing, Calvinism. But he was talking about all of these, and he's got 4 of these sort of circle lights, and all of this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I got a bulb in my roof. Like, there's nothing, there's nothing going on here that is it's. I think that if I do get any bigger, I will improve my setup. But
Yeah.
I'm so bad with it, Wilberforce. Like, really, I am
Well, you're
terrible at it.
better than me on it. So,
Well, I don't think yours is your lighting. I think yours is your camera.
no,
I
it's
really
probably part of
do.
it too.
Yeah, maybe. Because you can see the sort of the interferencey stuff, the static kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What camera are you using?
Yeah, it's just the regular webcam on my laptop.
Oh, okay, yeah. It
Yeah.
might not be great
I
because I
don't
got
have any
a
good
scene.
fancy stuff.
I got this Logitech C900. It's actually quite good. I'm really impressed with it. So I'm
Mm.
really happy with it. Mm.
Yeah, that's one of my projects. for the next 6 or 8 months. I'm building a plant stand for all my bonsais, and I'm going to incorporate my aquarium and terrarium into it. I think it'll be kind of cool, but
Wow.
it's a big project. So,
Do you grow bonsais from seed?
from cuttings, I got a bunch of willow bonsai. I don't know if you want to see them.
Yeah, sure. Hey, I'm game. Absolutely. Absolutely, I want to see them.
It's probably hard to see with the lights, the grow lights.
That's all right.
If you can get a decent idea.
Yeah. What? So you're gonna sort of wire them all up and?
Yeah. Well, they're in my front window.
Okay.
But that window, I mean, I only have one side facing anything because it's a studio apartment. So, unfortunately, my window faces north.
Oh, yeah, that's not the best for light. Absolutely.
Not ideal, especially for willows.
Especially for Northern Hemisphere.
Well, yeah. Yeah, Colorado's a bitch for that.
Yeah.
But
that's okay. So that's good. That's good. I was I looked into doing bonsais from seed. You have to freeze the seed for certain periods of time to
then you have to soak them for.
Yeah. It was a long process, and I was like, I mean, I like bonsai, but I'm not prepared to go through that. And I didn't have any cuttings or anything, so.
I mean, even with cuttings, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole point of bonsai.
Hey, Oz is here. Hey, Oz. Do feel free to join, mate. We're talking bonsai plants at the moment. Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying, like, the whole point of bonsai is it literally is it's an exercise in extreme patience and thoughtfulness. So
right. As you trim them their shape, do you think that the shape comes out by itself, or do you enforce the shape upon that plant?
You enforce the shape, and there's more than one method to do it. The most common nowadays is people will actually wire the branches and shape them. So you wrap wire around the branch when it's still green and flexible. But the more traditional is what they call clip and grow. And it's literally that. You clip the parts you don't want to grow, and you leave the parts you do, and let it grow that direction. So
very zen.
I like it.
I did have somebody say, Mark for Prime Minister. If you were to be president, what would be like the first thing you would do? Like, if you could make any kind of policy, what would it be?
Universal healthcare.
Universal healthcare.
No question.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you cut poverty in half like that.
I think that if I was elected Prime Minister, the first thing I would do is make it illegal to get money for like politicians to get money from corporations or anything like that. Just end super PACs and things like that.
Right up. That would be in my top 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think that's where I would go first off. Yeah. But that's just me. I think that causes so many problems.
And on top of that, and I don't. Why this is controversial in my country, I honestly don't know if this is the case in Australia or not.
Yeah.
Congress people should not be allowed to buy and sell stocks. They clearly have insider information. It is.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. But then you would need to be able to lure the best people in somehow with public service. So I think that
true.
It may be difficult to do that. So there's another few considerations, but definitely if somebody is like, we have a ministry, so it will be like sort of you have the minister of sort of land affairs, the minister of finance and things like that, preventing them from investing at least in their portfolios area, kind of thing. So the person that's a minister for finance can't invest in financial companies, kind of thing. That's clear conflict of interest. And I think just sort of what I've seen is people don't declare conflict of interest enough. They're just sort of like, well,
and there are not nearly enough penalties for it when they get caught.
Right.
At least here. I mean,
well, people that decide the penalties are generally them. I mean, they're making laws. So
talk about a conflict of interest.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm the one who gets to decide the punishment for what I do wrong. Mm-hmm. But it's, and so when it, you mentioned stuff that I think you might be wrong about. I actually don't think that would detract from bringing in the best people. It's all in how you define best, right?
Yeah,
because I genuinely think if you took away a lot of the opportunities for graft and corruption and stuff, what you're going to end up with is people who are genuinely interested in public service and doing good for the community.
Yeah. I suppose so. I think that would be a good idea. Yeah. Although it's kind of a very it's sort of to sort of pay people for the job that they do. It's a very demanding job. Like, I'm aware of that. Like, public service is very demanding, but then again, how much more demanding than working, every day at the DMV can it be?
That's
like sort of
right. Yeah. Those are also public servants.
Right.
My dad manages the water supply for several cities. Right.
Just got to say some hellos. Hello, Math Pig. So good to see you here. Maudi, like, guys, if you want to come on. We're just gonna talk crap, and Larry, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. But if anyone wants to come on, and look, blessed be he, if you want to come on and tell us all about the way that you're talking about, and point out what time in my life this person showed me, whoever you're talking about, just come on, and then you can sort of talk about it. Kayem, thank you for coming. Awesome.
I've seen Maudi on here with you before, and there's some kind of psychological stuff he's brought up that I've been interested to talk with him about.
Well, he is a psychologist, so that would be entirely within his wheelhouse, sure. Absolutely. I believe he does experiments in olfactory triggers and things like that. It's just fascinating stuff, I was reading about idealism and how we can't sort of assume that sort of because all we have to interact with the world is our senses. Hi, AJ. So glad you're here, man. Thank you so much for coming.
Can you hear me okay?
Where are you? You're not.
I'm actually in my car right now. I'm driving.
You can wait till you get home. Don't be on your phone and drive, dude.
Well,
seriously.
No, I have a phone mount in my car, so I've got both hands on the steering wheel, Mark.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I thought you had it in your hand. I'm like, don't do that.
No. I have a phone mount, like for a GPS. But I only joined because I had sort of an interesting story I wanted to share and sort of ask you about.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, so the other day I had to take my mom to the credit union that we go to.
Yes.
Because she had to get something notarized for the other bank that she banks at, which is USAA, which is for military families. So she had to get some documents notarized, and it took a while. So I was sitting in the car, and she was inside. And so I'm just hanging out, like I don't have my phone on me, and I'm just like minding my own business. And then my passenger door opens, and this girl gets in my car that I've never
What?
seen before. And at first,
Ugh.
and then I like look at her for a second. I'm like, oh, I think you have the wrong car, because I was like, there've been times when I walked out to my car and like I was standing by one that was like identical to my car, and I thought it was my car. You know what I mean? And I thought that's what she did.
AJ, this sounds like the start of a Penthouse letter. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, either that or how I
It
ended
sounds
up
like
in
what?
the desert in my underwear kind of thing, like.
Yeah. No, I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah. Okay. So it gets
So
weirder.
what she's okay. Well, I'm all for weird.
Okay. So basically I figured that's what happened. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And she leaves, and I'm sitting in the car and chilling, and then she comes back, opens my door again, and says, "Did I leave my clothes in here?" And I said,
This is a scam. This is obviously a scam. This is the good old "I left my clothes in your car" scam. It's
very well known.
very
I said,
well known. Absolutely.
"Oh no!"
Everybody knows this.
Yeah.
And then
I've done it a million times. I mean, I actually did leave my clothes in their car, so it wasn't really a scam, but
like with the 5 seconds that I was in here, did I leave?
Yeah. Maybe she leaves her clothes in people's cars a lot, which, as I'm saying it, sounds very, very dodgy. Yes.
Mark, are you slut shaming?
She says to me like she's no my life. So can I get in? And I say no. And then she leaves, and then I'm like, okay, I'm like slamming the lock the door button,
right?
Because now I'm freaked out,
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. Was she
And
hot?
then
Just slamming the lock the door button, is that a euphemism for masturbating?
I was not masturbating, but no, she was young, shoveled. But then my mom came out and she says, "Who the fuck is that woman?" I said, "I don't know." And she said, "Did you know she was barefoot?" I was like, "No, I didn't notice that, because I couldn't see. I didn't, she just got in and I
looking
didn't
at her feet.
Now I'm like, oh shit. So I've got the door locked now.
Oh, this just happened.
Scared,
Oh, did this just happen?
What do you mean? Like it was like a few days ago, I think.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought it just happened.
No. I'm talking about
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So I'm pretty freaked out. And then I'm thinking, because I don't have my phone on me, and I'm thinking like I'm just like wishing like for my mom to like hurry the fuck up, like let's get out of here. Like I do not want to like have her come back. But it was taking a long time. And so I'm just like sitting in the car, and then she comes up and I hear her pulling on my door handle. Like trying again. Yeah.
Yeesh.
And I just like closed my eyes, and I was like not looking at him, like, go away, please go away, please go away. And then I was like getting really scared, honestly. I'm like, I don't know what this person's gonna do. I just want to get the fuck out of there. And then eventually, like, my mom came out and we left, and I was kind of like freaked out for the rest of the day, honestly.
Yeah, that is a bit freaky. Yeah.
It was just
I don't
like
know.
He came back and was like pulling on the handle like 2 or 3 times, trying to get back in the car. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe she was just really high and confused. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of felt bad for her, but she's obviously like confused. Like she's not ever.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, likely not. She hadn't slept, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
I think when people do whatever substances where they don't sleep like that, you can become in a delirious state where like you might think like, oh, is this where I left my clothes? And
Well, sleep deprivation will do messed up things to you for sure.
Sure.
yeah, and the weird thing that I can't really explain is that I was watching out for her, like in between me locking my door and her coming back the third time. I was watching it through my rearview mirror because I saw her like back, like on the other side of the parking lot, like sitting on the curb. And I was just watching her, like, please don't come back over here. And then I saw her talking to another man. And I think I saw this guy open the trunk of his car and pull out like a clear garbage bag with clothing in it and give it to her. I think that's what happened.
Yeah. Sounds
So I
like
think
she was just confused.
Yeah, I think that she had me confused with this person.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And it was. I felt bad for her. You know what I mean? Because I don't think that she like trying to hurt me or anything. I think she was just very like confused and not. Obviously,
Well,
she's not getting a good mental.
I mean, there's been cases of people who have been like so drunk that they've walked into other people's houses and like slept in their bed, kind of thing. You know,
are you
like,
specifically picking on me with that story, Reed? That's not fair.
Maybe.
That's not fair.
Maybe it's very fair. It's very, very fair.
Robbie's right here. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I mean, it has happened, and you know, people.
My dad was flying out to Iraq. We went to the army base. I was justified in drinking all that alcohol.
No, that is justified. Yes, but probably sleeping in somebody else's bed probably isn't. Probably
it wasn't his bed. It was his living room on the sofa. It was totally different. Okay, he left his front door open for the dog. It's not my fault. Moving on.
Yeah, you made breakfast the next day. What's the big deal?
Yeah. No, I woke up to like 40 missed calls from like my girlfriend and my mother wondering where the fuck I'd ended up.
Hello, Maya. Maya's in the audience. Wonderful to see you. And my wife is in the audience, and I so good to see you here. My wife never comes into my streams, which is fine. It's yeah. I mean, her opinion of religion is kind of just keep it the hell away from me. That's basically her stance on it, and she doesn't really engage with people about religious stuff.
That's true, though. That's not true. You remember the stream we did about abortion?
We did a stream about abortion?
Yeah, and Maya came in.
And what?
You said Maya doesn't join your streams, right? But you and me didn't.
No, I said my wife doesn't join my streams.
Oh, I thought you said okay. I thought you said Maya in the comments. I'm sorry.
No, I said hello to Maya, and then I said hello to my wife, and then I said my
your
wife
accent, man. I heard Maya as well.
Oh, don't talk about people's accents, man.
You don't have an accent here, by
all you assholes have fucking accents.
Yeah, I know, right?
That was a good stream.
That was a good stream. That was a really good stream. Maya's just amazing, just amazing. I really
one of my favorite people.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Is Maya turning into a content creator?
Yes.
Is this something that's happening?
Her and Tapioca do a wee show now. Do you not know?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Tapioca Weasel.
Oh
it's interesting.
I think that the community has created a monster.
Created a monster. Maya was here before most of us. She created all.
She's the monster we deserve, Mowdy. She's the monster we deserve.
She's the monster we created. She's the monster we don't deserve.
You're allowed to say that because you're probably the only person on the panel that's here longer than she is. But the rest of us, she helped create all of us. It's her fault for all of us.
Wow.
That's a good point, actually.
How long have you been around, Mowdy?
Yeah.
When dirt was invented.
Oh, okay.
When dirt was rocks.
It's just easier to just say old guard with an E and move on.
I remember when smoke signals was the fastest internet.
When I arrived to meet Marty, he handed me a letter. You know, he didn't even text me. It was like, "Hi, there you are, piece of paper. Hi, riddles." You know?
That's stupid.
It's engraved clay tablets.
But in
yeah.
all honesty, when I arrived, Marty was like, "I've got you a wee present, Robbie. We've got a hero."
I had a blank tablet
right,
and a chisel.
and he hands me right a vaporizer, totally sealed in his wee medical because it's legal with Mighty Rice.
Listen, no, it's not. Not in Pennsylvania. You're not telling the story.
It was broken. That was the story I was going to say.
No, it is. You broke it. You
I
broke
didn't
two of
fucking
them.
break it.
You
I know how to
fucking
breathe. All right.
holy
I know how to
Christ!
breathe. I've been doing
Every
it for 40
goddamn
years.
breath. Every breath. He was breaking these goddamn devices that I was helping hand into him, trying to help him with his anxiety because he was so stressed out from the flight. And I'm trying to help out, and here he is breaking all the goddamn equipment I give him.
I have to do say though, the Oracle is. If anyone enjoys talking to Maori, the Oracle is a hell of a lot more fun to talk to. We went and sat in the park for like an hour and a half, and I spent more time speaking to the Oracle than I did. I was like, no, I've talked to you. I want to talk to her.
Who's the Oracle?
Oh, the Oracle's my wife, the Oracle of the Couch.
Oh, okay.
Shanna.
All right.
Previously known as Shanna Rocky, now Shanna Maori.
Oh,
She's
he
been
put
around
claim
about as
on
long
that.
as I
You just
have.
pissed all over your wife and marked your territory, but go on ahead.
Well, I mean, do you have a side of the bed that you sleep on, Maori?
Yes, I do.
You have your side, right? I was watching this thing where somebody was saying, "Hey, to mix it up, pick a different side of the bed," kind of thing, And I was like, "Are you insane? Like, this person had to have something wrong with them, that you would just switch sides of the bed." Do you endorse this, Maori, or do you think it's just mad?
Wow.
That's a situational thing, though.
Yeah, I'm going to endorse it. What do you have to say, Robbie?
No, sorry. I know he was referring to you.
Well,
No, but it is situational.
No, everybody. Look,
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, no,
I think
like
it's a good thing. I try to mix it up in the same night, actually, because like if I'm sleeping by myself, I toss and turn a bit.
Yeah,
but if I'm sleeping with somebody else, I'm a big spooner, right? And I tend to be on one side and not move around much. But I'm old. And if I'm not moving around, then my joints get stiff and sore. And so at like 2 a.m, I might actually just wake her up and say, "Hey, can I move to the other side? Because my right side hurts."
Oh, no.
I like this guy.
Yeah. Christopher knows what's going. Chris knows what's going. It's like, it's like 2 a.m. We've still got 6 hours before work, and I woke up. Do you want to go over the top of me, or do I go over the top of you? Just swap sides. Yeah, we know.
Nothing wrong with that.
Madness.
I think that's good. The only difference is when you've been with somebody for a while, your side of the bed has so much of your stuff that being on the other side of the bed prevents you from like being in your comfort zone. It's like, my phone isn't there. I don't know how do I tell what time it is? Stupid shit.
So you have the bed in the middle of the room.
You don't change things up often enough to like.
Oh, I see.
To have no comfort zone, which means there's also no discomfort zone.
The whole thing's a comfort zone, is what you're saying. That's what you're throwing down.
There's nowhere I go or nothing I do that's more or less comfortable than anything else.
Okay.
I like the bed in the corner, so to speak. So you've got the head of the bed, and one side of the bed is usually against the wall, and then
which is cold.
Actually, in my room, the radiator's right beside the wall. So that side of the bed would be more. Pardon?
Where do you put the bedside table if it's against the wall?
Both of them beside each other. I generally would wake up more early or not sleep than most of my partners, so I'm up first. So when their alarm goes off,
most of your partners, goddamn, how many people are you sleeping with at a time?
In my past,
I'm imagining a very big bed here.
No, you know what I mean. I generally would.
Multiple partners is better on a twin size.
I would have got up more earlier than my past partners and stuff. I would have get up 6:30, 7 to get up and get ready for work and stuff. So when they get up for bed, I'm not in the way. And we would have had a big bedside cabinet or 2 bedside cabinets. And that gives you Like there's a warm side of the bed close to the radiator, and that. But I prefer it in the corner. I generally sleep on the outside.
Speaking of the warm side of the room, I noticed that Leo is here. Welcome.
Leo is
Howdy,
here.
Leo.
Well,
Hot piece of ass that there, Leo fella, you know.
at least his avatar.
Oh,
Picture
and
to
then,
the
and then the
warm
stream
side.
average just
A little
went down.
young for my taste, but
The stream average just went down because Jay got here. But I missed you, Jay.
Oh, don't pick on Jay.
oh, god damn it, Jay! Didn't I just see you?
This really is the fucking hang with all the cool kids. Loving it.
I think I need to go away. I think that's the vibe I'm getting.
Oh no, we
Nice.
picked
Nah, you're good.
No, Jay, I made funny as soon as you arrive. I'm Irish. I love you.
I know you guys don't count.
Oh, go fuck yourself, you racist. At least you actually got it right this time. and
England,
agreed I-
England never
At least you
respected
agreed
you,
I
and
was
neither will I.
At least you agreed that I was closer to being Irish. You usually get stuck in the fact that all math picks Scottish.
Hey, Mark, I have a quick question for you, buddy.
Shoot.
Is there any way that I could, for about 15 seconds, do a really quick shameless plug while we got 7 people in here?
Sure. I'd plug away.
So, critical race theory,
Kick him.
Oh, no.
No,
transgenderism.
Grayson.
Do these things invoke emotion in you? What do you think of the recent comments that Michael Knowles has made regarding transgenderism? Well, if you've got comments about that stuff, you should swing by my channel tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time and let's have a discussion on it. I'll be having an open room, limited to 6, because I won't give StreamYard my money.
Live. 7 Central.
So let's see. I'm in Mountain Time, so that's
Nice.
You are
6
an
p.m.
hour, you would be an hour behind me, so it would be 6 p.m. for you.
All right, and it's what's the channel?
My channel.
Leo affiliates.
Hey,
Oh, okay.
Leo, is this like kind of stemming off your conversation with Stephanie Helms from the other night?
No,
Oh, okay,
no.
just wondering.
I like Stephanie. Stephanie's cool.
I saw Michael Knowles.
I do like
comments
Stephanie
on
as
the-
well. I don't hold anything against her for the disagreement that we had there because it wasn't really
I
a
was just
disagreement.
wondering.
I don't think.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you were continuing that. It sounded like you were going to continue kind of that subject matter. That's all.
No.
Kind of
It
based
does
off
have
that.
to do. It does have to do with a discussion that I had with Steve McRae, on Twitter, and Chris
he had
Atley
some
as well.
drama on Twitter the past couple
Well,
days.
you're just talking to all the best
yeah, that's what
people.
I'm saying.
On Twitter. Why? What's he
Because
done
he first
now?
made a comment about critical race theory, or no, he
Yeah.
made a comment about transgenderism, then made a comment about critical race theory, and then has engaged. I really don't want to say this, but I have to. Like, I can't not say it because it just is objectively the
You
truth.
can't, 'cause he just
And then rose to the apologetic defense of Michael Knowles' implicitly genocidal comments towards trans people.
just wants attention.
Yeah, I saw
And
those
citing
comments from
Turks
Knowles, and good God.
in support of his evidence or his arguments.
Ugh.
While at the same time demanding that everybody cite peer-reviewed academic literature that's from a textbook when they disagree with him.
Yep.
Mark, nobody on stream and myself as well doesn't seem to see the avatars. You might need to just like refresh.
Maya's comment is so fucking accurate. Oh my god.
What? Where?
Well, I'm not even-
On
I'm
the
not
actual
sure.
YouTube channel, I don't see the avatars, and the freak also commented.
What did Michael Knowles say?
He said transgenderism
How do I
must be
refresh?
eradicated.
Like,
You just
Yep.
refresh the web.
Basically, it needs to be banned.
No, he said
That sounds very
eradicated.
Hitler.
Well, yeah.
You'll disappear, Mark.
Like
but
that
we
sounds like Hitler, and not even Godwin's law, but that sounds like Hitler.
Oh shit! What happened to Mark?
He got readed.
You might need to
You want to
refresh
know,
the
but
page.
you want to know. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
is that better?
I was saying that I was hoping that if he refreshed being the host, that it would bring the avatars back on. But then there's an option it might just kick him, leave us, and bring him back. And it went with the second one. We still have no.
My avatar's not showing. Oh, I can fix that.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
well,
showing
I don't know
Yeah.
if anybody else can fix it, but this looks better than the avatar, so I can fix that.
Yeah.
Even though I
Oh,
haven't shaved, I can fix it. I'm like Sam from Holes.
I
I can
don't
fix
know
that.
why that is. Give me a sec. I'll see if I can.
So it's a
find out why.
StreamYards thing.
Great book.
Sometimes it just happens.
Oh.
Straight book.
Out of curiosity, why does Knowles think that it needs to be eradicated?
Oh,
Well,
because he thinks it's
Think of the
icky.
children. Think of the children. That's why.
it's a difficult it's difficult to answer because the opposition to transgenderism is a bit. I mean, I'm willing to talk about it, but it is a bit nuanced, and it's not my channel, so I don't know if the owner of the channel really wants to go into a discussion about why the right has the views they do about transgender people. But I did want to say, because I think it was AJ asked what it was that Michael Knowles exactly said, and he said, yeah, like you can't. He pretty much said you can't, like, what was the word? I don't want to use the word bargain because that's not the word that he used, but the word that he used is some. Yeah, thank you. You can't compromise with transgenderism. Transgenderism must be eradicated. But what's interesting is I think like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, he made the statement that that it wouldn't be possible to genocide trans people because trans people are not a legitimate demographic. So when you consider that comment, and then you consider this one, to deny that what he's saying is just implicit genocidal rhetoric just makes you really fucking stupid. I'm sorry, it just does.
Pretty much.
It makes you the kind of person who would have totally not said anything at all when the Nazis came for the Jews.
It makes you the kind of person who would have called Martin Niemöller a fucking.
But he's also saying that this particular group of people, if you eliminated them en masse, it wouldn't classify as anything, right? What would it classify as? It couldn't classify as genocide. So what would it actually classify as if you just started?
It would be classified as a bummer.
Well, I mean, it would be a genocide. It would be the execution of a targeted, specified demographic of the human race. That's literally what a genocide is. But the thing that he said was that
reasoning.
With the avatars, just quickly with the avatars, if you drop into the back and I add you again, it'll probably sort it out. So if you do want to show your avatar, Maudi dropped into the back. I showed him again, and it came up. So that appears to be.
I see everybody's avatars.
It's just on YouTube. I did
have problems with that though on some of my videos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you do want your avatar shown, just drop into the back. I'll re-add you.
But when you drop into the back, you have to go in and click remove from stream. You can't just click leave studio, right?
Well, MathPig just did it, and his avatar is back. So,
are you using the like StreamYard tidy thing, the tamper monkey?
No, you just go into the background and back again, man. That's as easy as that. It's a StreamYard thing. Just remove yourself.
Well, yeah, no. What I was saying that there's the leave studio button at the bottom, but that's not what puts you backstage. You'll exit the studio. No. You have to go over to where your little camera icon is in the left bottom corner, where it's next to where it says you're in the show. You have to click the 3 dots, and you have to go to where it says remove from stream. And I'm just pointing that out because people might say, "I'll put myself backstage," and then click the leave studio button. But that's not how you do it.
Well, that would probably work as well. Like, let's face it.
I mean, it would probably work, but you would have to go all the way back in and come back. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's a fair point.
I thought you actually had to do it that way. You had to actually leave the studio in order for it to re-engage. I didn't know you could just do it the other way.
Go backstage basically and come back.
Yeah, I just put myself
and T-Town too.
It just makes it more pretty, you know. Reid only needs to grow a beard to make it more pretty, but you know we can go with icons instead.
Look, I've got an aesthetic, all right, MathPig.
Okay, cue ball. It's okay.
I think Mark's alopecia aesthetic is perfect.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's just my wife hates beards, so when I have beard, I get less cuddle and kiss time. So that doesn't work for me.
That's very poignant.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say one thing before we move on, just really quick to Jay. The thing about what Michael Knowles said, at least the first thing that he said, was that you can't genocide. There's no way you could do a genocide against trans people because trans people are not a legitimate demographic. Now, word there, that word is a very important word, legitimate. Well, I think about who was spoken in terms of legitimacy.
Well, I think genocide is specifically racial, isn't it? Like it's
no. Gypsies are not a race.
Well, I think that was more the Romani that was.
That's not a race either, though.
isn't it? I thought it was.
Yeah, genocide can be for an ethnic group
so
of an entire
let me
culture.
pose a
that's what I
question to
thought.
let me pose a question to everybody. If there was a society that was like 80% men and 20% women, and all of a sudden they wrote a law that rounds women up and starts killing them en masse, are they committing a genocide?
Yeah, they are.
And it's
But it's also-
targeted specifically against women, not men, just women.
It's still
Is that
genocide.
genocide?
The definition includes just a large group of people just in general.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah, absolutely, it's genocide. Yeah, absolutely. If that's the definition of, I must admit, I haven't really looked up the correct definition of genocide, but yeah.
So when I think of Noel's remarks from the weekend, I know that he's been on like Pints with Aquinas, and he is viewed as a paragon of conservative Catholic ideals being broadcasted to the mainstream. And so the reason he will say you cannot bargain with the trans community or trans individuals or people who are trans allies is because it gives up ground of the theological idea that humans are binary, right? That God did this and done. There's no gray area. There's no spectrums. And so he that's the base he's working from and trying to drum up and say, look, we can't negotiate with what God says. If he made you in binaries, that's all there is to it, right? And it's demonstrably false. And for them to make a concession that people by the millions, even if it is just 1% or 0.5% of the population, that's still an extremely large number of people who God is purposely bringing into the world outside of whatever he supposedly intended as a binary, right? Which like fucks up their whole like cognitive dissonance at the outset, but then like digging into the biology and neurology of it, like brain structures and all that stuff, is just even more evidence to damn the case that there is a strict manness or femaleness to our actual physical form.
Dave Farina's breakdown of the whole issue is fantastic, because he describes not just how it deals with the X and Y chromosomes, which frankly I think a lot of these anti-trans people, they just don't want to try and pronounce Klinefelters. But he breaks down not only is sex biological based on not just your chromosomes, but more importantly, your gametes. But he also describes gender entirely being separate from sex, but also biological here. But it's here. And it has nothing to do with X, Y, or your gametes or any of that. It's all here.
Well, and some of that is also due to your like the expression of your genes as well.
Exactly.
So you may still be born with the morphological aesthetics and features of a man or a woman, but your genomic expression will lack the hormones to keep you that way.
Well, and there's that whole thing too, right? Because gender roles, right, are absolutely, completely, and entirely social constructs. And so regardless of what gender you identify as here, right, you're gonna kind of operate within those socially defined roles. But that can be very different from culture to culture.
Sure. That's what social constructs are. They're cultural in origin. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So trying to explain to people, though, the complexities of that when they want to just look at it like, nope, God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
You've actually fallen upon another Daily Wire dipshit, Matt Walsh, right?
Oh yeah.
The very
yeah.
idea that you just, and I'm not sure who was saying it because I wasn't looking at my phone, but just the idea that gender exists on different levels as the biological level, which is complex all by itself, but then you look at the social level, social norms, cultural norms.
Did you fall down a well?
Yeah, Maori, you sound like
Marty, you're cutting
Yeah,
in
I'm
good.
in
further
Philadelphia
away.
right now. I'm outside
okay.
in Philadelphia.
Same,
Okay.
same thing.
It's either this or I go into the station, which really sounds like an echo chamber. So
Beautiful station, though.
Whenever,
as long
like,
as you can understand.
not to like
Point that I was gonna
derail,
make,
but I wanted to bring up just whenever like a natural flow of the conversation. There's a bill that's being proposed by to Republican lawmakers in Texas about abortion that I sort of wanted to like just bring up with you guys at some
All right, well,
point.
before I go on the train, let me get this point in real quick. So what I was going to say was another. You fell upon another Daily Wire dipshit, which was the Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh posing the question, "What is?"
Maudie is failing.
Is that right?
Yeah, you sound real bad.
Howdy.
Mark,
How you
Yeah,
can you
doing?
turn
Maudie,
his volume up as
I'm getting
well?
every other word. Maybe.
I mean, I can try, but he's going to blow your eardrums out when he comes back on.
Did he get run over by the train?
No, I think we hear more cursing and swear, or nothing at all, just a loud clap and nothing.
By the
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Not yet.
A sweat.
Mark, why are you celebrating 777 subscribers when you have 932 subscribers?
Look, I blew
Late to the
past
party.
777 so fast. I don't know what happened. Honestly,
I think it was
just-
777.
I know what happened. Do you know why it happened, Mark Reed? Do you know why that happened?
Probably
Mark Reed.
because Mark Reed, yeah, probably because I went on and hassled Hovind and everybody grabbed that and played it and said Mark's good, subscribe, including
It was
AJ.
great.
So thank you.
Honestly,
Yes,
Mark, you
I
did a
said that.
fantastic
I said
job
that.
in the debate, though.
I said that. But yeah, that was a great video.
The mechanism.
That was
Tell me what the mech he didn't even just like. "Meow."
What is the limit and what's
how
the mechanism?
Yeah, what's the limiter? And it's like it was like a freaking jumbo jet, like a C-130 flew right over his head, and he just completely missed it.
Yep.
Yeah.
well, he makes these claims, and it's very hard. Like I was sort of talking, I think it was to you, AJ, about his sort of tactics, and he puts up red flags to make you mad, and you chase him down these rabbit holes that go nowhere. And he's difficult to deal with. Like it's difficult to deal with, but
Well, it's
yeah.
how he sets up his Gish Gallop. Like,
Oh, it's
he
the
says
Hovind hustle,
something
is what
that's
we call
going
it.
to emotionally affect you because it's so egregious.
Yeah.
And then follow it up with 15 just pure lies.
Well, he
Well, I
thinks
think P-Town is
he's
a fan
offending.
of Hovind.
He thinks he's offending your religion. If he's operating on that, if he's operating under that mental guise, he's a bigger idiot than I took him for.
Right.
Well, I think a good example of what Mark said with respect to his attempt to sort of like throw you off your train of thought, you know, almost, and like really just try to undermine what you're saying by appealing to some sense of absurdity contained within it. I think it's demonstrated when I had a debate with him on cosmology. He asked me the question, what color is space-time? And he asked me the question, can I put space-time in a jar?
Yeah.
Now, let's be honest here. Kent is not the kind of person that he is on the internet in real life. He knows what the fuck he's doing. He's at least that intelligent. Those kinds of questions are not asked in good faith. They're asked as an attempt to sort of throw you off your train of thought, make you go like, what the fuck? I don't know how to respond to that, and things of that nature. And then he can say, oh, well, we're sitting here talking about this thing called space-time. You can't even tell, does it have a color? What is it made of? And you can't answer any of my questions. And then he'll just sit there and attack you for not being capable of answering his absolutely fucking ridiculous questions. That's what he.
Right.
So yeah, that's a testament to what Mark is saying.
And that did happen to you at one point in the debate, Leo. It did. I do remember, and I also made the thumbnail for that debate for your channel. With Ken Hovind floating out in space, like just dead.
Did I scare Robbie away?
Bree?
Robbie, what are you doing?
No, he's just a coward. He's just a coward. You know?
I feel just offended by his departure.
I know
Hi,
people have been-
congratulations on hitting that 777.
Oh, thank you so much, Bree. I really appreciate it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I know I'm not at 7. Like before somebody else tells me, I know I'm not at 777. But I promised to do this stream when I did hit
Amazing.
777.
Amazing.
A promise is a promise, and yeah.
It's amazing.
So,
how
Oh,
many,
wow.
it's amazing
AJ,
how
can I
many
ask-
people.
Close.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Yes.
Can I ask what the point in that debate is? Were you think that Hovind was successful in running me off my train of thought?
Not maybe not running you off your train of thought, but there was a point where I think he said something that was really dumb, where you were just like, what the fuck? Like,
Oh, okay, yeah, that happened
that's what
like
I meant.
It's
Yeah,
a
that happened
goal
like
to
5
do
times
it.
at least.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Are you talking about the jar
Yeah.
of space
Because
time?
you can
Yeah.
see my face. I would be sitting there and I'm just
Yeah,
like,
that's what I meant.
what?
Show me
What
a
the fuck
jar
are
of
you talking
space time.
Yeah.
How
So-
has that
Because
not
the
been
whole
clipped?
idea is to
That was
trip you up into
I was gonna
trying
say-
to figure out what the fuck he was even asking you.
Well, because
So,
I was going to say
okay,
there
so-
might have been a point where he ran me off because sometimes it can be hard to catch. So I was going to say if AJ caught it, I want to know what it is so I don't do it again.
He is
Well,
the
you want it-
prince.
Is Big
you
Bad
want
Mama out
possible-
there? Because she hasn't clipped that jar of space time thing.
Oh, he said it a
Or
bunch of
he-
times.
Big Man
so-
Mama is out there. They're probably causing trouble all over the internet as well as
Yeah.
dropping in. So
He said that a bunch of
Um,
times.
Oh, about the space time?
Yeah, but me and Mark were
Okay.
actually talking about this in a stream, and I said that if you gave Kent an empty jar, like technically that would contain like space time and gravity. If it's
I told him that too.
well, the other possible counter you can do to any of these ridiculous things is use the same standard for his god.
Yeah.
So
or
when he
just
says,
his-
"Can
just
you
his
hand me a
standards
jar of
general.
space time? Can you hand me a jar of God?
Yeah.
Right.
What color is space time? What color is God? Oh, he's a white man.
Well,
Not
obviously.
black.
In the
Not
4th
black.
century, to Kent's credit, in the 4th century, he could have tried to hand you a piece of God, the holy precipice, the foreskin
Yeah.
of Jesus.
Oh.
Oh,
What? He owned the
Yeah,
foreskin
that-
of
yeah.
Jesus. Are you
Everybody knows-
serious? Is this
everybody-
That's a real relic.
everybody
Yes, they
knows that a
canned it.
good. Everybody
There's a
knows that
couple of 'em.
a fresh foreskin will keep God from killing you in a bar.
Yeah. I always
I'm
keep a
just
bag
moving
of them right
those.
next to me just in case.
Mm-hmm.
All Hovind would have to do is contact the 4th century owner of Hobby Lobby and get the relic, and then he would have a piece of God.
I
in
have a
jar.
question. I
Yeah.
have a question for everybody in here. It's a little bit off topic, but I really got to know. Have you guys ever wanted to know what it looks like from the inside when an engine is running?
what
kind of engine?
Russian engine?
That looks about right.
I thought it would just be a lot of like explosions and fire.
Well, this is without the actual combustion. It's like on
okay.
something that's rotating it, just to give you
Going
the
through
idea
the
of what it looks
mechanical
like.
functions.
Yeah,
Looks
show me
about
the
right.
mechanics of it. Sorry,
built
that was
that
off
with
topic,
Lego.
but I thought it was cool, and I thought other people might think it was cool too. I'm sorry. Continue.
I do think it's cool because I built one with
enjoyed
Lego.
Wow.
But it would be
the
cooler
engineering
if- with
behind
the
the internal
explosions.
combustion engine.
Okay, not
is
the explosion.
Fascinating.
Don't get me started on engines.
You probably know more about it than I do, but
I don't know. I'm not a mechanic.
Can you build one in
you
P-Town
probably
Minecraft?
in
know more
here?
about the physics than I do.
P-Town
I'm
is
here, Bree. I
Yeah.
have to leave soon, though. I promise
was-
I'll go play.
I just wanted to tell you, Arn Rob was talking about you last night. You should feel, he's like, he just brought you up. It was kind of funny.
Play with your
Yeah.
kids.
Where at?
Jesus Christ.
I know. It was in a private conversation. I'm one of his editors, so. But
Oh, it wasn't on camera? Oh, okay.
no. Well, he was recording, but just because he was taking notes, I don't know. I doubt that's going to make it into the cut.
Was it good or bad?
No,
Spill the
he was complimented you will being willing to come in. So yeah.
Yeah. He does
I
give
think-
credit
Hi,
where
guys.
credit's true if you step up,
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Peter.
While I get a chance, congratulations on 777 and 938.
When is
I
the
think when
8
we first met, it was half that.
I know.
Gained 7 since I joined.
I'm gonna have to do 1,000 one tomorrow. That's the thing. Like it's crazy. What did you think about my engagement with Hope? Did you see that, Peter? Did you see when I went into Praise's stream?
I did. I was sleeping.
As a matter
or
of fact,
falling
I
asleep.
did.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
did.
Hey, Peter.
You were pretty hard on dear Mr. Hovind keeping.
Well,
his,
it wasn't a debate. Everyone says, "Oh, your debate." It's not a debate. It was just
No,
a
this was better.
conversation.
This was better.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have to adhere by sort of, not firing back when he was saying horrible stuff about science and things, so I could really let it loose.
It was.
So.
You know what I loved? You know what I loved most? You keep saying him. Let's do one topic at the time, Kent, because now you're bringing up a new topic. I absolutely love that. That's his line, and then you just fired that back at him every single time he tried to divert.
Yeah.
I would also like to say that winning, quote unquote, winning a debate on Praise's channel is basically the equivalent of participation trophy for having a conversation at length on Praise's channel without getting kicked.
Oh, that's true.
I thought that they did a good job of letting Orge and Mark go back and forth with Kent for a while. I actually thought the moderation was pretty good.
Yeah, I do. The one thing I will say about Praise is he'll let things go for the content if he can.
He generally will.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, he used to be worse about it. It used to be much worse when Gavin was there, because Gavin would you could set that snowflake off.
Silence, Jay.
Like
I think
whatever
Praise
you
doesn't.
the men are talking.
I think Praise just doesn't step in enough.
Whatever
Praise
you want to
just lets
call
things
it, these
go.
type of videos are way better than like these debates on SFT's channel against Hovind. They're way better, I think.
Yeah.
The other guy was Jamie from help me out, Peter. Jamie from
Jamie Russell?
Studio something.
Jenny from the block.
I know who you're talking about. I don't know much about him. 205 is that his channel?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm not subscribed, so
Isn't James W going to debate him today?
He's debating him.
Oh, they are right now. That's right. I forgot.
On what channel? Wait, what?
On SFTs.
What did you
Mark's
do,
gonna
Peter?
pull it up, and we're gonna do running commentary like Mystery Science Theater.
Let's do it.
No, that's what I do. Bree.
Somebody mentioned James W. So just because of that, I have to
Wow.
say that I love Amy Newman, and she's the greatest person ever.
She is
Amy
so great.
incredible.
But dude, Peter, I'll give Dr. Josh my phone number if you would prefer to just talk that way.
I sent Dr.
Standing
Josh
for
to your
truth.
channel the other night.
No, we wanted to do Peter. We wanted to do it on our channel, so all of that is already agreed on. So
Standing as 16.3K subs.
A lot of people would enjoy that, and so Dr. Josh asked me if I could set up a conversation with you. So that's why I contacted you.
They had a
Okay,
viral
great.
documentary is how they got all those subs. They're something. It's
Dang.
Noah something.
This
Him
does Donnie work? Does he have somebody else working with him? Or
Yeah,
something?
there's Donnie and Raw Matt.
Oh, that's right. There's Fruit Bat Matt.
They're a
Yeah,
partner. Yeah, they're a partnership.
I can survive on air alone, Matt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
think
is
Donnie
he- is
could
he a
make so much
breatharian?
more money when if you
Nobody's a
would change over
breatharian.
to teaching people how breatharians
I thought he was a
are
fruit.
able to stay
I
alive.
thought he was a
Well,
fruit.
but
I thought he was a fruitarian.
the funny thing is, SpongeBob already told us how to be a breatharian. If you're not from the right generation, you're not gonna get it. But yeah, so
Yeah,
I mean,
they don't.
like most people from my generation already are breatharians. Come on.
Yeah,
Well,
but
my
so
kids are of your generation.
Leo, have you
Oh,
seen
fine.
Raw Matt? I mean, I don't think
Yes, I have.
It's a healthy lifestyle.
No, I
because
was
he's no
poking
longer
fun.
a breatharian, and look how he looks. I mean,
Last
he
time I
doesn't
saw
look like a healthy-
I saw him, he looked like he was like on a hunger fast for like a year.
The guy's
Yeah,
weird,
I'm
right?
not gonna shame someone's appearance. Sorry.
No, that's honestly how he looked. I'm not shaming it. He looked emaciated.
Now my problem with Raw Matt is more about what he did when Bill Ludlow died. He's a real
When
piece
who
of
did?
shit. Bill
Bill
Ludlow.
Oh,
Yeah, he died in.
So not to totally change the subject, but it is a celebration for Mark's channel.
Oh, that's all right. I don't care.
Well, I know, but I was kind of thinking, like, maybe we can all describe how we found Mark in the first place.
Completely
what if
by
Mark? What if
accident.
Mark found us?
Oh no.
I found.
Because honestly, I mean, I saw a
Nobody mentioned the toilets behind McDonald's, please. No,
Actually, I think Mark. I think Mark actually found me. I can't remember which was it. Did you find my channel or did I find your channel, Mark? I can't remember.
No, I found your channel.
I may have had something to do with that.
Yeah,
I may have had something to do with that, Jay.
I've known it for Mark, two, at least almost. It's got to be close to 2 years because I first saw him on Amy's channel back in I think early-ish 2021.
Yeah, probably more about 1.5 because I was around for a little bit before I actually started a channel, and that was just in about a year ago, if that.
Yeah.
Like maybe 8 months,
Mark,
10 months.
Yeah, I think I found you through
we went
Amy,
off.
too.
We went off on something else. I really wanted to say I wanted to compliment you on. So I don't think people should give Hovind any attention anymore because I think he's pretty much done.
I wasn't.
But
that's the thing.
With that in mind, I truly enjoyed seeing you and Orge go at him on Praise's channel. That was just fun to watch. And I stopped watching after a while, and someone told me that then Erica came on and basically ripped SFT to part.
Oh,
she's good at that.
Really?
I may have missed that, so I'll have to go back and watch that too because that would be a fun watch.
She's very good at that.
Has she ever debated Kent
I loved
before?
it. I loved it how this other guy came up and have you debated SFT on ERVs because you're scared, and then you said I did that 2 times on this channel, and then SFT confirmed it. I love it.
Yeah, and Erica she's debated Kent, I believe.
Yes, absolutely.
She has.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought she had at
modern
least
debate.
once, but I wasn't sure if she had
Twice.
or not.
Yeah.
I think she's done it twice on Modern Day Debate.
Kent appeared
Modern
on
Day
there like
Debate.
3 times, and then he's not allowed on anymore, I think, or something like that. Because I know he's not allowed on anymore. I can't remember when that
I
was.
don't think he wants to go on. I don't think he wants to go on any channel that isn't sort of, has somebody in his corner. I think
He felt like he was treated unfairly on MDD because.
which is
Well, that's
ridiculous.
what he says. He was disallowed from coming back on. It's the same thing that fucking Dark Dawkins says, that James isn't a fair moderator. He doesn't screen my interlocutors. No,
Oh, good
you
grief.
got
You
kicked
remember-
off the fucking channel.
Do you remember how he
acting
talked
like
to
a
James
dumbass.
when he was
half the
debating
time.
Shannon Keel?
Oh, fuck yeah! I've watched that debate like 5 times, dude. I watch it like once a month.
Glorious.
That was
All I
murder.
have to say is-
That was fucking
All I have
murder.
to say about
I
Dark
noticed
Dawkins.
that. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
Oh, I was just gonna make a joke. All I gotta say is Darth Dawkins made that bed. Now he's got to sleep in it. That's what happens. You fuck with James, you get the James horns. That's all it goes.
Yep.
Well,
No,
it's like that was the funniest debate. Was it Shannon Q and Darth Dawkins
Oh, it
debating?
was beautiful.
And James just couldn't help laughing. Because I mean, how do you not laugh at that kind of arrogant, self-entitled behavior? It is hilarious.
Well, and especially
And,
when she's just calling it out to his face.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, she didn't even. I mean, she was wanting to talk about angels. I think is what she said at the beginning of the conversation. He said, "Nope, we're doing pre-sup," and she's like, "Okay, let's explore that."
Doesn't ever
But,
want to talk about Jesus. Always wants to just run the pre-sup.
Have Kent Hovind and Darth Dawkins ever met? Do you guys know?
I have
You
no
know-
idea.
Oh,
No. I
so-
think that's called. I think that's called a singularity if that occurs.
Yeah, the narcissism
I actually-
will condense into a compacted form and destroy us
into
all.
a black hole.
I think though, because it's only relatively recently that I've been hearing Kent say, "Well, you believe XYZ, don't you?" And I feel like he picked that up from Darth.
No,
What
no,
if-
he has been doing.
I
No,
think
he has
so.
been doing that long before Darth
Yeah.
Dawkins was
Oh.
had gained
I don't.
any.
Maybe
any
it's
kind of fame.
just the phrasing that he uses. I don't know.
I don't know if
I-
they've ever
I-
met, but I know they know about each other.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, certainly they would. I think that Kent is somebody that Darth would refer to as knowing about like creation science and stuff as like a source of good information on that. I can see that being his position. I don't know.
In all fairness, I see Darth more as a copycat than I would see Kent. Kent has his own shtick that he copied from his teacher, and he stuck to that
Walt
pretty
Brown?
much for all these decades. He doesn't adopt things from other people a lot.
True. I can see that.
I haven't seen that
But-
happen.
I mean, that applies to Darth too, because he's basically just a dumber version of Bonson.
Well, I think he's. Well, yeah, I think you're onto. I think he actually watches. I think he watches the videos that are critical of him, and I think he sometimes tries to adjust accordingly, and it makes it worse because he's still trying. He's trying to reconcile.
But
Like,
so I'm
when-
curious.
when-
Does anyone know where Darth is now? Because he got
He's
kicked
not
out
around
of
here
his
as much.
He bounces
home.
between Discord and Clubhouse, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but
last I heard, it was
he got
Slow
kicked out of his
probably.
home. So and
He doesn't really have a
I
home
saw.
You mean physically
Jim-
where he's at? Yeah.
Yeah,
Jack-
I saw
I don't
Jeff,
even know who Darth
do a
Dawkins is.
stream.
Jack Burton said
Um,
he's still. Jack Burton said he's still lurking around on Clubhouse. He was
Yeah,
on.
but he seems to have a job now. That has to be
Maybe.
tough on him. Working.
I hope he's in customer service.
I would hope. I would.
Yeah, but if he does, it's for content.
That's what we get. That's what we get is people all that pent up. He's like the customer service agent at like an insurance company or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I would pay to
Bree.
hear that
He's
happening.
customer
Bree.
service
I
at
really would-
AT&T. That's what he
Bree.
is. Customer service at AT&T.
AT&T. That's funny. Yeah, can I get
You
the?
seem to be having a problem with your
That
router.
is
Have you tried finding the fundamental thing that is the cause for all actuality? Have you tried?
Bree. Hey, Bree.
Oh man,
Bree. It's not Bree. It's
I'm going to play that idea in my head for the
Bree.
for the
Wait,
coming
hold on, Bree.
few
It's not.
weeks at least.
It's guys. It's none of that. It's health and life insurance. He's related to Jill. Birds of a feather.
Oh.
So Jill's dumber. though.
Peter, did you see when I talked to Darth recently?
Refresh
that's a-
my memory.
You did?
Well, I debated him on the politics server on Discord, and that's the last time I've seen him around was in that politics Discord, religion and politics or whatever it is.
Yeah, he left that one because he wasn't allowed his usual mod powers
Right.
in
I have a
certain
nickname.
stream, and then
And he went off
he
on
got
this
really
like,
upset.
16-year-old girl. He was like yelling at this 16-year-old girl, calling
Yeah.
her a bitch.
Oh, are you
Wow.
talking about
I
base teddy
Oh,
bear?
that one.
Yeah.
I remember seeing
Yeah,
that.
that was rough.
She handled that so good though. She was really based about it. She kept her cool the whole time.
Agreed.
That girl's handled Darth better than half the men I've seen go up against him that are versed in philosophy. So
Yeah.
And she was what,
but
17?
I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him on that server since then. Like I guess he left there, and I don't think he's been around.
Well, it's a
Maybe he
bad
died.
server when somebody
Yeah.
with mod powers is like just berating some young person.
I haven't.
It's a terrible look for the server.
Yeah, and what ends
break,
up happening is he
She
just
didn't
chases
break.
everybody off the server anyway.
Yeah,
It
but the
became-
question comes up: why doesn't she have mod powers, and why is the
Politics-
child the one with the mod powers? You know,
Right.
Politics and religion is internet is pure 100% grade A internet poison. That
Yeah, there's a lot
fucking
of
server
there's
is
a lot of
something
idiots
else.
on there. There's
In
a lot
here,
of
I got
really
in all
stupid-
fairness,
I have a perfect
in all fairness, the
description of-
last few times that Darth was on, I just sat in the room and he pulled me up every single time. and kicked me after a few minutes. And I hate it because the first time that happened, after he kicked me, he went on a tirade on how intelligent I am and how I actually have a fair good grasp of everything. And I thought I was recording, but I forgot to add the audio from Discord. So all I got was me talking to a silence. And I would really like to have those audio clips. But well.
I was just going to say that, I was just going to say that I'm not allowed when I go into politics and religion. They don't let me talk, but I sure get a lot of friends requests from people who I share that server with. So that tells you what kind of people are lurking around there.
Bree, you're a filthy trans person. Why would they let you talk?
I was gonna say
they
you don't
can't
have to
be seen.
That would be validating you. I mean,
but they want to. Yeah, it's funny that way.
It's politics and religion is too much muddling. It's too many things mixing in there, and it's just it's a cauldron of just absolute disgust.
Was politics and religion the one where Amy debated that Goldie person, and it was just the most comical.
Yeah.
Just he was like to say acting like a 10-year-old.
Hilarious.
100% accurate. Like,
well, I mean,
basically, some of the
was Andrew Tate or something is what he thought.
Well, some of the audience got
like
to go up there to ask questions, and he's like, "Get this, Mark Reid. He's been talking crap all debate, kind of thing." Which, in fairness, I had. And he's like, "Oh, he'll be scared to come up and talk to me," kind of thing. And it's like, "Oh, you're in for a surprise." So I went up there and basically asked these questions about, why his stance on God was this and that. Just challenging questions. And all he did was just go mock my accent, like just repeat whatever I said.
No. The first thing he said was, "Well, at least we ain't got school shootings, mate." And you're like, and it's funny because Mark's like, "I'm not even fucking British, dude."
The funniest part was that he thought you were English.
Did he ask you to play Knifey Spoon?
Cockney's not you might as well be a racist, fucker. It's a better look.
Yeah, Australian Cockney, whatever.
Yeah,
chimney sweep responded to you. It was it wasn't even a real British impression. It was what's his name doing his impression from Mary Poppins.
Wait, I got a very important. Is there any record of this in any way?
Yeah, it
like
was on
Amy's channel.
Amy has it
Yeah,
on her
I can't
channel.
remember what the debate's called, but yeah, it should be on her channel.
I know it's on Amy's channel because one of the people from Arn's Bible show panel wanted to have a chat on Amy's channel. And I sent him the link to that particular debate, and he got back to me on Discord and said, "That's a fucking dumpster fire, isn't it?"
I got it. Yeah, you got it. I got to find that, or if somebody finds it for me, I'd be grateful. But I'll have to go digging for that if no one does.
I went up and
I got server muted on that one.
Nice.
Which I still think is a badge of honor.
Yeah.
They freaked out. It was like, oh, there's two trans women up on the stage. Well, they didn't call us trans women. They had other terms for us, but.
Oh, yeah.
But don't you think it's weird that you'll have a debate about God or about, this thing, and if a trans person is there, that's all they want to talk about. Like, it's so weird. It's like you have an opportunity to present your case for this God that you so believe in and you want to promote, and you don't even touch on it. All you want to do is talk about trans people.
It's like showing a dog a brand new chew toy. It's just
right, exactly.
No,
Exactly.
I see it a little differently. They have their own sexual fantasies, and then someone shows up, and then that is all they can talk about.
I thought of a joke.
Not everyone.
But I feel like I shouldn't say it.
I'm not saying that I know this, but we can't know all of this. But
it just seems that way, though.
I'm just saying that I get a lot of chasers from that same server where they're talking about trans people like that. It's not coincidence that it's the same demographic that I'm getting this people wanting to.
Bree.
Well, shit.
There's one thing I want to say. Remember a while back when Creaky Blinder asked everyone to send in a video about Matt Powell? You had me post a pretty hot picture of you in that particular video. Guess which part Kent Hovind never showed in his response to Creaky's video.
Of course they wouldn't show that.
I'm not saying that Matt Powell wanted to keep that for himself, but we just don't know.
I don't
It's because it's on his hard drive now. That's why.
Are you alluding to
the emphasis on hard?
Peter, are you alluding to Matt Powell's? Are you alluding to Matt Powell's Spank Bank? Is that what you're alluding to?
No, Kent's Spank Bank.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the thing.
Which is stored on
pretty
like
sure they share
a Rolodex because he doesn't use digital.
I heard. I couldn't keep track of whether this was Darth or Matt Powell. I couldn't tell, so I took a guess.
I mean, I'm not saying that Breeze the reason Matt Powell moved away from Dinosaur Adventureland, but I do know that people have their computers checked when they're there. So yeah, if that picture pops up every single time, and he might be running from that. We don't know.
Ken Hovind says that I pretend to be a woman. He said that several times now.
Oh yes,
because you like eye makeup. You are the badass at eye makeup. Mm.
Yeah, because I have a couple thumbnails that I have like eyeshadow on. That's not pretend. That doesn't mean I'm pretending to be a woman.
No, it doesn't. It's just he doesn't understand anything.
I'm gonna convince him that you think you're a vampire, that you're one of the vampire subculture. I'm gonna tell him you're part of that, AJ. That'll really.
Well, I mean, praise used that thumbnail of me where I'm like got like emo black eyeshadow on.
Yeah, I love that picture.
That was
funny. Stop! That picture's adorable. I love it. Stop.
I like it too.
It's good.
I was just like, why did he use that thumbnail? It's
funny
because
really
that
makes
thumbnail.
You counter.
Oh, we
Kent
all know
actually
why.
I actually overlaid a skull on Kent's face on that thumbnail. If you look closely at it.
Well, AJ, you're talking about a guy who's in his 40s, living with mom and dad. Probably a reason why he used that.
Who is?
Just saying.
Me?
Right.
No, just kidding.
Praise.
What are you talking about?
Oh, praise.
Praise.
Fuck praise. His voice raises my blood pressure.
Praise. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty nasally, isn't it?
Praise voice raising people's blood pressure. What?
I tried to trigger him last Sunday on the bi-weekly show that we do on Discord, and so I posted the channel youtube.com/@praiseIam. There's a picture on there because he at some point tried to kill a guy called Jay Patrick. He threatened to shoot him.
Right too.
Hey, I got a question for
Jay,
Pete.
I got to know about this. Did he actually threaten you,
Yes.
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 Wow.
That's
Did who threaten who?
Praise.
Praise.
Conditionally, he threatened Nicola conditionally by saying if he was an atheist, he'd stick a gun to Nicola.
I don't know who that is.
Tesla?
No.
He's already dead.
No, not Nikola Tesla. No. Anyway, Nicola. Nicola's a buddy of mine from Canada, but Nicola was involved in this, in the reason why they were kind of up, or Olive was upset, and then Praise got upset, and so he made a conditional threat that if he was an atheist and he ever met Nicola, he'd put a gun to his throat and blow his head off.
Why would you be friends
that
with
he
somebody
was
from
an
Canada?
atheist? You said that Praise said that he was an atheist. And if you ever saw his Facebook,
if he was an atheist, then he would do that. And then later in the stream, he goes, "Jay, if I ever see you, I'll fucking kill you."
Yeah.
Wow, that's assault.
And I was like,
it was a bit more than just that, because he went on an entire tirade.
No,
he
it
wanted
wasn't.
you to come over to him. He wanted to go to you.
What? No,
that's weird.
No,
that's weird.
No,
I
it was
just
just weird.
said enter the laneway, don't come up the property.
I understand that reference.
The No, it was nothing. It was over a comment that Nicola had written, and they were upset about it. And so yeah, when it happened, my wife was pissed because she was there when he said it, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go back and record this.
You know, that could be used as evidence. If somebody killed you, Jay, that could be used as evidence.
Oh, I know. Well, he went on several streams afterward, then basically saying it wasn't me. It wasn't me he was referring to. It wasn't necessarily this Nicola. It was bad. It was really bad.
Why can't you just be honest and say, hey, I was mad? Why can't you just be honest and say, hey, I was mad. I said something I didn't mean. I apologize.
He did later. He did later.
Oh, okay.
He did
It was
later.
a social experiment. It was a social experiment.
He did later, and then it took a while, and then one time he came on my show, and he apologized.
Oh,
he came on my show. Yeah, I know you will. So he apologized, and then later on, somebody was joking about it, or I was joking about it, and then he tried to backpedal on it, like he never apologized to me. None of this ever really happened, kind of thing. So that really bad.
Praise flip-flopping, really?
Yeah, praise
really praise flip-flopping.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay. And then, but really what got under his skin was when Skylar Fiction and Dr. Josh ambushed him with that audio clip.
Yep.
You want to know how you know praise is in the room? Because you can hear
do you know what was
sound.
really
hold
bad?
on. Whoa, hey, hold up. Because you can hear the sound of the flip-flops.
Yeah.
You can hear it. You can hear him run. It would almost sound like a frog if a frog could like run on two legs. That's what it would sound like.
I took it as like an achievement that one gets playing a game. Like you get that nice little gold coffee, gold little coffee cup or something that pops up and says, "Hey, you achieved this." Right. I was like, "Hey, my very own, my very first death threat. Neat." And it's from a Fundy Christian. How cool.
Like one more flip-flop and I get a free Subway sandwich.
Flip-flops are still available. They're not cheap. $37. But
they're Yeezys.
They are.
Wait, are you being serious?
They better be like Chuckas if they're $37. What the hell?
Dude, like, seriously, I would buy those and rock the fuck out of those at the beach, dude.
I want something. If I'm going to walk in something, I want to be comfortable. But Jay, do you know what was even worse in all of that? Then some atheist photoshopped a picture of Praise as a sheriff with chaps on and no trousers, with a tiny little flower in his crotch. And then he went on a minute-long tirade about that picture.
And you could definitely see his
about that picture. And if you want to see that, go to youtube.com/@praiseIam. It's the only video there. So
go to Pornhub.
Check it out.
I do have a debate coming up against Praise on morality, which should be absolutely fascinating.
Don't bring that up, or it'll turn into a fucking shit fest.
He's going to argue for lowering
the debate on morality. How can I not bring it up?
Do those come in my size?
You mean I'm referring to the death threat.
Why would I do that?
I was just saying that's what I was referring to. No, if you're talking about morality, yeah.
Praise is going to argue for the morality of lowering the age of consent.
What is the actual?
I have to find the link again, Bree, but I did make them and I did set them to, if they're sold, that I'm not going to make any profit. So I'd have to find the link again.
Oh, they're like on an Etsy shop thing or something like that?
Yeah.
Mm. All right, Mark, congratulations. I have to go.
Oh, thanks, Pete.
See you, everybody.
Night, Pete.
I'll try and jump in on one of your streams in the future, and maybe we can have another chat and stuff like that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, let's do it.
Did you and Dr. Josh come up with a date and time for your conversation?
Not yet. I'm waiting to hear back from him, I think. It took me a day to respond.
He's really knowledgeable.
We're waiting on him.
About sort of ancient Levant. He is incredible.
Yeah. Dang it, Peter! I was trying to orchestrate that. You gotta get your
Hey Jay, I have a question.
Trust Peter to handle
Okay.
this for you. Yeah.
Because I saw praise, I flipped that I flop, and it was reminding me of nicknames. I think it was early. Was it earlier today? That I think it was your stream. You called bubblegum gun bubblegum cum, and then you called LPP something, and I can't remember what it was. Logical, plausible, probable, and then something else with a P that was really funny, and I can't remember what it was.
It was pops.
Popsicle. There we go.
Logical, probable popsicle.
I heard that.
I listened to that stream at work.
Well, he's gone
Plausible,
AWOL. I don't
probable,
know what
possible.
happened to Maddox. Maddox has gone AWOL completely. I've got no idea
Well, I
what
can.
he's up to.
Yeah, I kind of
I
miss
think
him.
I think I can explain why people
Really?
like.
I don't know if I'd go that far, Bree. Come on now.
Well, I missed the platform because I could go on there and like dunk on people and he wouldn't moderate me.
Hey,
I
Mark,
think.
Can I share a video with the room? It's like 5 minutes. Maybe not
sure.
immediately, but okay. I think
It's not your birthday, AJ.
I share a birthday with Dwayne the Rock Johnson, so
Okay.
I share a birthday with SpongeBob SquarePants.
I share a haircut with Dwayne. The Rock Johnson,
well,
too.
the creator of SpongeBob SquarePants went to the same middle school that I did.
Oh,
That's
that's
pretty cool,
interesting.
actually.
Steven Hillenberg. I did want to say
Yeah.
though, I can really only speculate, but I think the reason that like people like Otangelo and LPP and I mean, Praise is still around, but he's only ever on his channel, and he pretty much goes nowhere else. So I guess you could kind of put him in this category. I think the reason that they're not really around much anymore is because they don't have anything else. All that they have in terms of arguments and rhetoric and all that stuff has already been exhausted time and again. They don't have anything else, and so it's gotten boring for them. And they've moved. They've just moved it on. I'm not saying there's like something wrong with us that they've moved on, but it's just they haven't come up with anything new. We've given the responses. We've shown how their ideas don't mean anything, and they haven't been able to respond to that. And so they've just gotten bored with trying, and so they're just not a part of it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, some of them switched to other platforms and stuff too, though. Like we just don't see him on YouTube anymore, like what we saw with Gavin Herliman. That's where he's on Clubhouse all the time now. And
I mean, he hasn't been on there frequently. I think in a while actually.
He popped up on there today. I kind of listen
is
sometimes
this
while I'm at
from?
work.
This
Are we
is,
watching Tucker Carlson?
I think you guys will enjoy this, and it's short and sweet.
I've
I've
seen this one. You'll like it.
It's
Oh.
A spiritual.
Okay, I'm going to start it.
Where we're watching, here's this news story. An Illinois elementary school is offering an after-school Satan Club. The local school district is defending the Satan Club. It's sponsored by the Satanic Temple of the United States. The club claims it will help kids learn benevolence and empathy, as well as, quote, personal sovereignty. We're going to the source on this story. Lucienne Graves is with the Satanic Temple and joins us tonight. Mr. Graves, thanks so much for coming on. So I have to ask, are parents complaining that there's an after-school Satan Club at their children's school?
Some are, but they don't have to send their children to the program. It's available for parents who do want to send their children to the program, and it's there as an alternative to religious clubs that are made to proselytize to children. Ours doesn't include items of religious opinion. It doesn't include indoctrination. It just has a self-directed learning program with trained educators there to help guide the children through different activities and projects that they want to engage in.
Where are the Satan Club's trained educators trained? Is there a
They're
Satan
trained through
School
us.
of Theology?
No, we've got educators who have volunteered with us. We vet them. We do the criminal background checks that aren't required of after-school clubs and haven't been required of any of the religious clubs because we want to be responsible about this. And we make sure that they understand the curriculum, they understand what we want to do in this program, and that they're able to execute that.
So, I love your use of the word execute. Have any school administrators said, look, I know you can like lecture me about religious freedom, but you're a Satan club, but we're not going to let little kids go to the Satan club. Is anybody, or are they just passive like everyone else in America and kind of letting it happen?
Well, that's not being passive. That's understanding what the law is. That's understanding what the Constitution is. That's understanding what free speech is and what religious liberty is. And there's a lot of people who express a lot of uproar about this, and they go to the school board, they complain to the principals, they complain to the superintendent, but a school board cannot overturn the Supreme Court. And
Well,
there's
actually,
no point in harassing them.
So could there be an I Hate Gays club or Black People Are Inferior club? And the answer, of course, is no, because the community, and I'm not advocating for either one of those things, but the community has some say in what its kids are exposed to on government property, i.e. a public school. So you're just telling me that everyone's just kind of going along with it.
It's not mandatory though, like he just said.
Right.
No.
We'll let it play, and then
By the way,
we can discuss it, because
by
I've
the
got
way,
like no.
Because
Mate.
Supreme Court.
Go ahead.
Well, the Supreme Court allowed in religion. They said that not having religious clubs would be religious discrimination. I disagree. I think you can categorically deny religion, but what you can't do is give the government the opportunity to pick and choose between which religious viewpoints they'll allow and
But
which
they
ones
do
they won't.
they do all the time. I mean, you can be suspended from school for quoting portions of the Old Testament, like immediately. You could be. I mean, I'm trying not to use profanity on the air, but what you're saying is ridiculous. We both know it's ridiculous, and I just want to be really clear on this, because to me, it's another example of people just sitting back and being like, "Oh, I guess I have to." You know, let's have their drag time story hour for fourth graders like that. You know, I can't say anything. And you're confirming that everyone feels that way. They kind of have to go along with it for some reason.
Well, people get upset about it, people like you, and they don't reconcile their viewpoints on free speech and religious liberty. I don't know what you're suggesting. I don't know if you're suggesting if the school board should say, no, this is not allowed, and we're going against the Supreme Court ruling that says
what I'm
religions
saying
are
is
allowed.
you ought to be allowed to quote the New Testament out loud in school. If we're going to apply the standard, which I suppose I'd be happy to live under, we have to apply it equally, but it's not applied equally, as you know. And I suppose, have you been in touch?
I don't know the New Testament story you're speaking of, but we would defend anybody's right to practice their religion, and we're not asking for other religious clubs to be taken out.
Look, I'm
We're
not
asking
even
for equal access.
Right. And I'm just saying the school would not provide that if it were an expression of Orthodox Christianity, as you know.
They literally
Well,
are,
Shane,
though.
I
He's
appreciate
talking
coming
about
on, Steve.
other
Thank you.
religious clubs. He's like ignoring that he's actually acknowledged that there are these religious clubs pushing his doctrine where they can preach the Old Testament. He's pretending like those don't exist, and they're giving favoritism to the Satanists.
It's a direct response. It's a direct response to another club, which is called the Good News Club, where kids are being taught about the Bible, God, and Jesus. So if you want to have a closer look at this, Onra has a video on his channel with one of his friends going to a school board meeting where they're discussing this, and you can see the absolute ridiculous ideas that people have about the Satan Club. It's insane.
Having been a civics teacher, everything in that video, everything Tucker said in that video is just infuriating. Every cell in my body, because it is literally just, he is advocating for only Christianity.
Yes.
And
that's what
nobody gets suspended for quoting scripture in school.
No.
Nobody ever has.
Teachers may, if teachers use scripture as part of their classroom teaching, they can get into a lot of trouble, because the whole idea is that if it's a theology class, probably not so much, but just in your standard high school, sort of classroom setting, they can get into trouble, because it's supposed to be religion neutral. Not like if you quoted from the Bhagavad Gita, the same thing would happen. If you quoted from the Satanic Bible, the same thing would happen. It's fair, because all religions are treated the same. What Tucker's trying to do is say, we want these after-school Christian clubs. And, I've been to places where they have multiple clubs, one for the Presbyterians, one for the Protestant, one for the, Catholics, and then you have, a sort of more neutralish one. And so they don't like the other ones, like, the Islamic ones and stuff, but they'll put up with it. They really don't want Satanists to do the same. And Satanists are so good at this. It's like when they put up the 10 Commandments, so they wanted a statue of Baphomet.
Exactly.
It's this showing the hypocrisy of Christians that the Satanists are so good. That they claim that they want religious freedom. They don't. They want selective religious freedom for their religion and not for others. That's what they want.
Yep.
I wanted to make a couple of comments, if that's okay. So I think I counted 5 times that Tucker interrupted that guy, and first, not only is that rude, but it's especially bad when you're doing an interview like that because there's a delay between them. So that's even worse. You know what I mean? Like, so he's intentionally making it difficult for that guy to get out what he's saying. And I thought everything he said was totally reasonable.
Lucian,
and
yeah.
What especially irritated me was that Tucker Carlson, he fucking said New Testament. He said New Testament. And then the guy's like, oh, I don't know what you believe about the New Testament. He's like, oh no, it's I said the Old Testament. It's like, fuck you. No, you didn't.
As though it matters which one he said in the first place.
Yeah, but it was like that was my interpretation of that exchange. But I was just like, he was just trying to make him look bad at every chance he could get because he's not bringing that guy on to like give him a fair shake. He's bringing him on so he can make dumb faces while the guy talks. I mean, you know,
pretty much.
And like, what has the Church of Satan got to do with drag time reading stories? You know, nothing. Like it's nothing. Yeah. And his club isn't doing what he like. It's just this argument, this appeal to his viewers' emotions kind of thing.
Exactly.
They don't like the way that society's going. There's all these non-Christian values. I'm going to get upset about it. Now it's about satanic anti-Christian values. I don't like this. I want to do something. He's just dog whistling for, you know, fundamentalist
Christians. The satanic panic.
Yeah, in his eyes, they're lit. And like one thing I also forgot to say was that these other Christian clubs, the sort of like counselors in those clubs, they would seek out and try to get children to join who were like strangers. Like the parents didn't know about this, and they're going out trying to like proselytize and get these other kids to join, which is obviously not okay, because what if their parents that child are Muslim and they want to raise their kid Muslim? You know what I mean? But the Satanic Temple is not doing that in after school program. They're literally like just having the kids play like Uno and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's just
an after school program.
And be nice to
it's just so they don't go out and get pregnant and, you know, start like doing smack.
Yeah, it's an after school program. That's basically it. Tucker Carlson, just his whole job is to do this.
Yeah, exactly. Like his entire audience had prejudged that guy before he said a word, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
the Satanists do that on purpose, though. That's their point. That's the whole. There's a whole aesthetic to it.
The guy having one eye didn't really. I don't know if that helped him having one eye. I mean, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with it, but it's just I thought that was kind of funny.
Well, like, there's sort of a cognitive dissonance between somebody that looks very evil and sinister and is talking very rationally. I noticed that with when Marilyn Manson did an interview after the Columbine shooting, where they were like asking these dumb questions, and he was responding very, very well articulated and very well thought out points, like very, very logical and rational kind of thing. There's that expectation that person's going to just be you know, conniving and, you know, I want to rub my hands and do this, and then not. And that's what Lucian's really good at doing, because they expect him to just be a villainous caricature, and he's actually very
like
caring,
D. Snyder before Congress.
Oh God.
Right, exactly. And very
Did you
well
see his interview
thought out.
with Bill O'Reilly, Mark? Have you seen that?
Whose?
Marilyn Manson.
Yes, absolutely. And of the two, you're sitting there going, why is this guy talking rationally and looks this way while the guy in the suit is talking like an idiot? And he's the one that looks respectable. And I've always admired that dissonance between the two, that sort of that challenge of expectation that comes with it. I've always admired the way that they do it. It's fantastic.
I think Arn is that way also.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
It makes
because
especially when you're talking about that contrast between, you know, Marilyn Manson and Bill O'Reilly. It also makes you question, like, wait a minute, who's actually wearing a costume here?
Oh, of course. It's, if I could just say quickly, conservatives, particularly in the media here in the United States, I don't want to speak about other countries, but here in the United States, they try to like feign this sense of like highbrow, respectable intellectual that's just interested in talking about the issues, you know? And then
facts don't care about your
like
feelings.
why do you think that Tucker Carlson wants to bring on Satanists that like look the image and bring on like the transgender person with the pink hair and all this stuff because they fit this stereotype of absurdity, quote unquote, in their mind, and then they can just play on that to appeal to the underlying bigotry and the underlying fear that their audience has.
They'll actually pick the most masculine
conservative
trans person.
movement.
Yeah.
Is that they're trying to feign this sense of respectable intellectuality when they don't know shit about dick.
Yeah, I feel like 90% of the arguments against trans people, especially trans women, are just making fun of people's appearance.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I will disagree with Leo on one point. Especially what's his name? Ben Shapiro. He knows a lot about dick. I'm certain.
Well, his wife has a dry vagina.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I probably would too if I was married to Ben Shapiro.
Well,
but look, yeah, I mean, Ben Shapiro, I don't think he's as intellectual as he sort of pretends to be. I don't think he's said some incredibly stupid things in the past.
He has to say so. Steven Crowder blew the lid off that whole thing. Ben Shapiro doesn't get to say what he wants anymore. Neither does Matt Walsh. Neither does Michael Knowles. They have a contract that Steven Crowder basically turned over to the whole world because he was so pissed off about how they lowballed him and put all these penalties and stuff on his contracts. So he he went public with it. Well, I don't know. The contract sounded shitty.
$52 million a year.
He's
Jeremy's
Leo.
the
He's a Jew.
Ass.
He's a Jew. I'm sorry.
What?
Jeremy from.
That's what I was saying. Ben Shapiro is.
Yeah, they're all
ironic. It's ironic anti-Semitism. It was a prank.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Anyway,
I'm pretty sure Steven Crowder has a family member who's trans.
Steven Crowder's dad's his producer. I think that's why he turned down that deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because it cut his dad out.
And the reason that I think that another reason that I think he did it is because I think that it was lucrative and he knew that, but I think that there were reasons why he wanted to deny it. And I think that he kind of like purposefully made it a big deal about him denying it so that he could get clout off of it. So that when he goes, because I was actually listening, he was on the RBD podcast. It was some weird thing, some weird podcast with some, I don't know, he wasn't Indian, maybe some sort of Middle Eastern or Eastern European. I don't know. He was some guy that was talking to Steven Crowder, and Steven Crowder's trying to start his own thing and get like his own media company going and bring in these young conservative, people. But to the whole Daily Wire thing and like people like Ben Shapiro and Knowles and all them, these are not stupid men. It's just that they know what they're doing and they're okay with it.
What's his name from the Daily Wire? Jeremy something. He's always outraged about.
I want to say like Cockle or something like that, but I don't think that's correct.
Yeah, he's got his little squad of. They all have their own channels, but they're basically putting out his content. What he says, you watch this. I got them all. I know I've mentioned before. I have an account that's like right wing algorithm, right? So it gets all of them, and they all put out the same video within hours of each other about the same topic with a similar thumbnail, just with their faces swapped out on their own channels, covering the same stupid, ridiculous topic. It's always either it's something about woke.
Jeremy Boring.
What's that?
Is it Jeremy Boring?
That might be.
So what is this contract? I'm sorry, I don't know about this. So explain to me what this contract is that.
So if they get within the contract, there was like it gave him like what was I don't remember the amount. It was like $500K or something like that a year.
50 million
like that.
Well, I don't know if it was 50 million a year or if the whole contract was for.
I think it was 55 million for like 10 years.
For the whole show, though, right? That wouldn't be his takeaway. That wouldn't be
for that 10 years.
Yeah, for production and everything else, all of it. Yeah, all together. Mm-hmm. And he couldn't he'd get fined by the studio, or not by the studio, by the what do you call Daily Wire,
FCC?
production company or whatever. He
Media
would get,
company.
Yeah, they would get fined
media group
by their who their contracts with if they got like their stuff taken down on social media or anything like that. If they said anything, they got them taken off of Instagram or
they got
Twitter,
which happens to Crowder constantly.
Right, all the while forcing them to make content that's going to get banned on social media.
It was 50 million over 4 years, and he was contracted to provide 192 episodes a year, which amounts to 4 90-minute broadcasts a week. God, that would just be such a fucking gravy job, dude.
I mean,
50 fucking million. Are you kidding me? Jesus.
Yeah, I'd do that shit in a heartbeat.
And you know what's funny is,
but he couldn't say what he wanted to say anymore.
Well, yeah, that was the thing, is that, yeah, he had to say what the Daily Wire wanted him to.
So he would have just been another one of their homogenous channels, and that's what he spoke out against too, and it rallied a whole lot of these other smaller conservative channels that always been allied with Ben Shapiro and everything, like Caitlin Bennett, the gun girl, her channel, one of the Liberty Hangouts or whatever.
Good old Poopy Pants Bennett, huh?
Yeah,
the lynching hangout.
Yeah, they turned on Daily Wire.
Steven Crowder thinks he's an incredibly talented comedian. He thinks he's so funny, but he got canned by Fox News, and he's like always been butthurt about that because he was like a mid-tier like Fox News like panelist for a while, and then he got
he was supposed to be their funny guy on the panel, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he thought he was going to be like the next fucking Bill O'Reilly or something, and then he was forced out, sort of like Cenk Uygur was, and then started his own thing. And
wait, where was Cenk Uygur forced out of?
MSNBC.
Was it MSNBC? Well, that doesn't.
Cenk was. I was just drawing a parallel.
Yeah. No, I was just saying I didn't know that he worked there. So. At first, I thought he was forced out of Fox. He worked for Fox.
Yeah, Steven Crowder did, and he was forced to leave. And Cenk Uygur was actually on air at MSNBC for a little while, and then he either left because of political differences and started his own show. And the Young Turks, it was pretty good when they first started, but then turned to shit. Now it's kind of okay again. But yeah, Crowder. I used to watch Steven Crowder every day. I used to listen to him every day. I used to listen to Ben Shapiro every single day.
But Matt Walsh is terrible. I mean, if Joe Rogan is giving you the treatment, then you've got some problems. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, Joe Rogan, he's got problems. He does.
Rogan looks like a communist compared to you.
But
what about Alex Jones?
Joe Rogan is not. Like Joe Rogan is not on the cutting edge of intellectual thought kind of thing. Like he is, at heart MMC, and he's not stupid. It's just
every man thing is the appeal. I think because every man,
right, and even he says he's not the smartest guy, and it's like, well, yeah, if he's handing you your ass, then you really have to seriously reconsider your strategy.
Well, but the thing about Rogan is Rogan's definitely changed because, like, back in like 2017. In 2018, when I would listen to his podcast episodes, he would have philosophers on, sociologists on, physicists on, economists on, like a bunch of different actual experts in a variety, and just pick their fucking brains about shit. Like that's almost what his podcast started as far as my experience has been, is that he would just bring on different people that were like legitimate, meaningful experts in a variety of different fields, regardless of whether they're like academic fields or otherwise, and just pick their brains and talk with them about different things and pose different ideas. It was sort of around like the 2019, 2020, really around the COVID too, that he switched into this contrarian conspiracist. And Russell Brand has gone down the same road. I mean, back in 2015 and 2016, the shit Russell Brand was saying was just based as fuck. And now he's off the fucking wall, and I don't even know which land he's in right now.
Well, Brand has
Yeah.
always been a bit kooky when it came to sort of
Well, so is
spirituality.
Rogan, though, but it was just like
Well, sure,
a
yeah.
dab of it. It was like a taste of
Yeah.
it. Rogan was like in aliens and stuff like that. It's like, okay, I like that. I'm into aliens. I do alien shit on my channel, so let's do it.
I just
And
don't
he's
want to
gone
see
more and
somebody.
more.
I don't want to see somebody that I like become a mouthpiece for the right. And
Yeah.
that was
Well, and the thing
what
with
Joe
people like Joe Rogan and like Russell Brand, and also individuals like Jimmy Dore, they're not themselves right wingers, but they're they're the word that I use to describe them are right wing pipeliners. They're the pipeline to the right wing media. You start with Joe Rogan. You start with
Bill
Russell
Maher's
Brand.
in there,
You start with Jimmy Dore. You start
I
with
used
Bill
to
Maher.
subscribe
And then
to-
you all
to
of a sudden are listening to
Rogan.
Jordan Peterson, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, and you're calling for the eradication of transgender people.
Now,
Yeah.
Well,
Leo,
I mean, he
bear
gave
with-
Matt
They're
Walsh a
u-
really
they're
hard
useful
time.
idiots.
That's true. Sorry,
bear
Bree.
with
Bree,
me
go ahead.
here. Because there is a pipeline, but I started with like Coast to Coast AM to Joe Rogan to then started looking into the right wing stuff, and I started looking down like I poked my nose down a libertarian direction for a minute, but then I quickly pulled back from that. But so it's always the same.
I was on that pipeline, like literally, like for me, it was Blair White. And then like I said, I would listen to Ben Shapiro's podcast every single day and Steven Crowder. And it got to the point where it influenced who I voted for. And I voted for Ted Cruz one year, me. Like, this is how close it was until I like realized like, no. And it's like, that's the power of it. You know what I mean? Because that's the point, it's to influence who you vote for.
Oh yeah, that's exactly. And the thing about the right wing is it's sources you wouldn't even expect that like can start you on it. I've noticed it in the strangest of places, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. And this is the thing with I don't know if I've yet watched the full thing, and I don't know why the fuck I haven't. But Vosh actually, I think a couple months ago, finally had a discussion with Brianna Joy Gray, who I also think is a right wing. I think like people like Brianna Joy Gray, Glenn Greenwald, Jimmy Dore, these people feign leftism to pull disgruntled leftists into that right wing pipeline. That's what their job is. They are the pipeline.
They're useful idiots.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are.
Who did you say a second ago that Vosh? So for a long time, there was this narrative from the right of like, why won't the left just debate? We just want to have a reasonable discussion. And that's why I was so glad when Vosh came on and got popular, because like he was willing to do that and like kick people's asses coming from like a leftist, socialist, anti-capitalist position, and was like really good at it.
Yep. Like his discussion with Charlie Kirk on excuse me, on the Timcast, Tim Tool, his podcast. I think it like maxed out at 40,000 views or something like that. And then now think about that. There are stadiums that can hold 40,000 people. 40,000 people.
That's almost a city.
Have you seen the debate between Vosh and Destiny versus James Alsop and
Eric Stryker? Yes, it's fucking
oh
hilarious.
my god, that video is so funny. But me and Dr. Dan literally got into a big ass argument over the fact that I said that I loved that video or that I thought it was very entertaining, and he got fucking pissed.
Well, I'm sure I know why.
Who did?
Dr. Dan.
I'm sure I know why. Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Was it on Modern Day Debate?
Yep.
Yes, it was.
That's why.
Back in like 2019. Yeah. Well, no, it was because they, like Eric Stryker and James Alsop are literal Nazis, and they were platformed by Modern Day Debate. Like, there's a bunch of people that bitch and complain because Modern Day Debate like a year ago had Richard Spencer on, and he was defending he was defending a pro-choice position. Who was he debating? Kay Fellows. He was debating Kay Fellows, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure it was.
He was on there. That's bad enough.
Basically. And I'm just like, I don't think that like I just don't care. Like that's not I'm not concerned about that. Like if he's on and he's not sitting, well, but if he's on, like sure he's a Nazi, but if he's on and he's not talking like Nazi stuff, I don't care. Like he's not pushing his like that's just me though. I mean,
I asked
I'm honestly I don't have an issue with him even being able to go on whatever platform's willing to have him spout Nazi shit.
Well, I
But
asked
nobody
Dr.
should
Dan, I
have
said, if Richard Spencer does a TED Talk, and then after that, the next person that they asked to come and do a TED Talk is you, are you going to turn that down because they platformed him? And he said yes. And I'm like, that's giving up a really big opportunity. I just think that's stupid.
Well, right. I agree.
Yeah, I would give a TED Talk about how everything that Richard Spencer just said was fucking wrong.
Yeah, even if it's a TEDx talk, I would gladly do that. I don't give a fuck. Like, yeah, they shouldn't platform him, but that doesn't mean like you could never ever like go near that platform again, and that I literally can't enjoy a debate on that same platform or against these people because I said, well, they're making these people's ideas look fucking stupid, and they're showing how these people their arguments are nonsense. And he said, yeah, but if one person found them convincing, then yeah, at least one person found their arguments convincing. I'm like, okay, well.
Yeah, but see, what you should have said is, okay, so say that Richard Spencer goes on the channel and 2 people find his argument convincing, but 10 people find his arguments unconvincing and in fact are convinced away from his arguments, but may have otherwise been convinced in favor of them. But now suppose that he doesn't go on the channel and 8 people are convinced of what he says, whereas 2 people are unconvinced. Which situation would be better?
Well, my argument was,
it's impossible to say what will happen, though. Like, you don't have.
Well, but that's not part of the hypothetical. I've already granted all the information that one would need to answer the hypothetical.
Well, my reply to it was, okay, so if one person who was on the fence got convinced by their arguments, but 2 people who were effectively Nazis got completely flipped around and are now leftists because of watching that, doesn't that negate the one person? And he said no. So.
Well, see, that's why I said to frame it. You got to frame it the way that I did, where you got to juxtapose going on the platform and convincing less people than you would disconvince versus not going on the platform and convincing more people than you would disconvince. Which would be better? Well, I know which one.
People like Richard Spencer, they're gonna get their message out somehow, some way.
Sure.
But if you can broadcast to a wide audience, hey, here's why that shit's stupid.
And it's going to be broadcast in an echo chamber as well without anybody challenging it. So I don't have a problem with it as long as it isn't somebody that is selected that will not pose a challenge to the person, that it's just, a kind of thing. So as long as they are a competent debater and they can present a good argument, I see no reason why that person shouldn't be challenged. Because every time I've seen them on, they have come out looking like absolute dumbasses. And the comment section reflects that as well. Like the debate against Muslims that I recently had, like the comment section was just like, these guys are medieval. The entire comment section was, these guys are dumb as crap, basically. Just sorry, before you go, Bree, I do apologize. I'm going to give a 15-minute warning. I'm probably going to close up shop in about 15 minutes. So just be aware of that, everybody. And because I'm starting to get hungry. So I'm sorry. I apologize. But go for it, Bree. Sorry.
I was just going to say that we got to keep in mind, too, that just because the other people on the platform that they platform and give a voice to are not talking about these specific topics, but usually probably about 50% of their audience is going to have some kind of opinion that we're going to find problematic, that maybe that's not even the topics they're on the show about. So how do you deplatform from talking about specific topics? I mean, I don't know where you draw the line. It doesn't seem like there's a sensible way to parse that and still keep it fair and free speech platform,
Right. Yeah, if you have, let's say you have a viewer who is super conservative about most things, but they're kind of on the fence about abortion rights for whatever reason. My ex-mother-in-law, honestly. And they see a debate that is entirely and only about abortion rights. That could well be the thing that pushes them off the fence in the right direction. And none of their other beliefs have anything to do with that.
So that's kind of what I was saying. Yeah, like they debate that. Like they're coming to, a lot of people on that have otherwise pretty progressive ideologies will be like on the fence about something like abortion, right? But they get into following somebody that comes on a platform talking about that and get down like what AJ was talking about, a pipeline that leads them towards where there starts to be racial things that come up, or maybe just general women's rights issues, questioning, like Jordan Peterson's now out. Once he's got his hooks in people, questioning, saying, hey, should there really be laws against rape? Shouldn't it be the men and the woman's life that protect her from it? Shit like that. It's like, what decade are we living in? But it's slowly ebbing them over. All right, I'll shut up now. Let Mark.
I think it's a good point.
Yeah,
I think I really get conflicted about it too. I really go, well, these people that are coming on. I mean, some of the topics are, you go, is it really right to platform this? But I think that I do agree with James's philosophy that the best ideas will win. He is a psychologist. He's doing his master's. The whole idea of it, he's doing a PhD. That's right. The whole idea of it is that the best ideas, like a bad idea, will not gain traction just because it is aired, kind of thing. And I'm in two minds about that. I know that that's what sort of the science says about sort of the way that ideas are sort of incept in people's heads, like that inception of ideas kind of thing. But at the same time, I do find it challenging to think that these people should be platformed because of the stuff that they say is just fucking gross, like it just is.
Right.
So yeah, I'm very conflicted about it. I think that I do support the idea that in a marketplace of ideas, the best ideas will win, and I'm confident that our side does have the best ideas. So
I think the caveat is that it's got to be an even marketplace.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, and I don't even think the worst performances on MDD have been from anybody who's a white supremacist or anything like that. I think that they've been from flat earthers for the most part. Like Nathan Thompson's the worst person I've ever seen perform on Modern Day Debate. I don't think he can come back on there.
Oh,
can he?
That's a bold statement. Did you ever see Howard Stewart?
I'm not sure.
He's
Is he
the
Australian?
guy that thinks. No, he's British but lives in Spain. He believes that rocks are like fossilized organs of creatures.
Was he really rude though?
Nathan
Thompson was
you mean as
rude.
in
The worst performance,
just
like worst behavior.
Like worst behavior. Wow, who would be the worst behavior?
Because I can, if you disagree with me, go back and watch
Nathan
Thompson with I don't know who his partner was, somebody who was just a clone of him against Erica and Mark Drysdale. Yeah. Oh my gosh, they were.
Mr. Batman's up there as well.
Mr. Batman's always
that guy. Jesus.
Yeah.
He can't come back on MDD either, can he?
But no, I think you make a good point in that.
I don't think he wants to, though.
The way that they behave is different, just in the sense of like, look, a white supremacist gets on one of these platforms. They know they have to kind of be on their best behavior because everybody just is looking for, oh, well, there's a white supremacist. He's going to act like a dick. Right? Because he's a white supremacist. However, with flat earthers, they don't even realize, like, they don't know that everyone else thinks they're wrong and heinous. And I think they also realize there's not a moral thing that people place on flat earth.
Right.
They just kind of look at it like, oh, well, that's stupid. As opposed to, oh, that's evil.
Well, Flat Earth doesn't actually tell you anything about political ideology. That's the thing. It doesn't say we should run a country like this. Really, if flat Earth is true, nothing immediate in your life would really change. I mean, you'd still be going to the same store, doing the same things. It doesn't really change anything. Whereas if you like sort of subscribe to a fascist ideology, obviously that would change a lot in your life. You know, the systems of control, how you would go about doing things, the people that you would interact with and how you interact with. Total change of perspective from what we understand as society now. So yeah, I get what you're saying, Wilberforce. Flat Earth isn't as impactful. I would absolutely say that, and that's why, you know, I mean, the sheer amount of flat Earth debates on that thing kind of irritate me, but I don't have a problem with them. I see flat Earth as not harmless, but way less harm than, you know, fascism or Islam, for instance. You know, the fundamentalist Islam, or even fundamentalist Christian, for that matter. I mean, flat Earth is not as dangerous as fundamentalist Christians wanting to have, you know, Christianity as the only religion within society.
And
so and running for government, everybody represented by Christian ideals, etc.
You know, we should just let them run the country by the Bible and watch how quickly it collapses. And we'll be like, see?
Yeah, but I don't want to die.
I'll have to be executed, but we'll learn.
Well, I mean, the problem is that theocracies don't collapse quickly. They fall into a repressive state and then stay like that in you know, sort of backwards and repressed for ages. Until social upheaval. I mean, look at Iran kind of thing. It just stayed in a repressive, horrible state for ages. And you know, now last I heard was that some schoolgirls got poisoned, kind of thing, because, you know, let's punish the women. Just awful, terrible stuff. And I mean, their imams are not giving up power anytime soon. They think they have been appointed by God, and that is so dangerous. You know, they think that they are there by God's will and don't believe that it's,
which is a bunch of bullshit, because I haven't appointed anybody yet.
Right. And true sovereignty comes from a mandate from the people. It is the people that put them there, and the people can remove them. But they don't think that's true. They think that it's God that's done it. And they, you know, if things go bad enough in that country, they're going to have a real shock when God can't seem to stop the people from kicking their ass.
Happens all the time.
I just wanted to say, I don't think this is a feature of just theocracies. I think it's been a feature of pretty much every mode of production society has lived under for the past 6,000 years, where to some degree, early on, it furnishes meaningful social progress, but then slowly stagnates until, you know, some sort of revolution happens and things change.
So what system would you have apart from, like, let's ignore representative democracy kind of thing, because that's what we've currently got. How would you transfer that mandate from the people into actual power in the society, Leo?
In what society?
Well, whatever idealistic society you're talking about.
I'm not talking about some idealistic society. I'm making a statement about how human society has historically developed.
I think workers' guilds would probably be the best way to have representative democracy structured, as opposed to the current way that it's set up.
Mark, I don't have. That's actually an extraordinarily complex question, because what you're really asking is, outside of the generally most ideal government that we've had in the world, what would you have that would be better? And that's hard to conceive of.
Well, I think that in a perfect world, like in a perfect ideal world, I would probably go for anarcho syndicates, basically. It was a form of government representation used in Ireland, where everybody joined a syndicate, and that syndicate made a basis for power. and there was no actual government, every decision would be supported by a syndicate or opposed by a syndicate. So there was no executive. The problem with that, and the major problem, is it's unresponsive. You can't respond to quickly changing situations because you have to, for every decision, you've got to set up some sort of syndicated vote to either enact that or not enact that. So it comes with this fundamental problem that if you're attacked or an emergency happens, or there's a catastrophe, you can't react quickly, and I think that's a major downfall.
Which was one of the fundamental problems with the Articles of Confederation here before we adopt the Constitution.
Right. It's power that's too spread out is just naturally unresponsive.
Well,
So
I would say it was a.
Sorry, go ahead, Leo. Go for it.
I was gonna say I would say it was unresponsive 300 years ago. I don't know if a much more decentralized system of governance would be as unresponsive today, given the technological advancements that we have.
Well, I think it would be more responsive than a couple hundred years ago.
I think it would be more responsive, but I'm not sure it could make sort of. It could make and enact those decisions that a representative government could, like when you have a single leader like a prime minister or president, they can enact and enforce decisions very quickly, as opposed to even some sort of electronically assisted syndicated process is going to take a while to, because people still have to make a decision, put that decision in, transfer that into some sort of syndication or vote or some sort of agreement, and then enforce it, kind of thing, and then implement it.
Well, I mean, there's a sense in which I agree with that, but I think in countries like the United States, there's certainly some counterexamples of that, where I would argue a lot of the major policy in our history wasn't enacted by any one individual. It was enacted as a result of a collective decision made by states, or it was enacted by organizations like, say, our Congress. And I'm not active in any way advocating for specifically syndicates or something, but just more like the notion of decentralized mode of social organization more broadly. I don't see it as being intrinsically problematic.
Can you imagine painting a painting of Andrew Tate sitting across the table from Abraham Lincoln? This just came up in my feed, and I had to show you guys.
Is that supposed to be Abraham Lincoln?
That's Abe Lincoln in the seat right here.
You know what's funny about that? Is everybody else in this picture has pissed and moaned about trans people and it's XX or XY, but Lincoln was XYY.
Oh, really? I didn't know where Lincoln was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's rarer than Kleinfelter's, but yes.
Why does Jordan Peterson look like he's staring at him going like, that guy fucks, look at that.
What was I going to say?
I don't know who this guy is. Who is this?
I don't know who that is.
I know every single other person here.
Do you guys know who Abradolf Linkler is?
Yes. I get that reference. That was out of Rick and Morty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't think I've ever watched Rick and Morty.
I watched the first two.
It's
seasons.
a good show. It is a good show.
I've heard that. It's on my list.
The fans of Rick and Morty are terrible, but the show itself is actually
one of the creators is also terrible. But the show is not bad.
One of the creators. Actually, perhaps both of them are terrible for different reasons. What is it? It's Justin somebody, and my wife would know. She follows it. And Dan.
Yeah. What do you expect from more well-off white American men?
Well, not much apparently. But I think Dan Harmon's just a functional alcoholic who says some pretty obnoxious stuff sometimes. He's not as bad as the other guy, Justin somebody. I can't remember their name.
Justin Roiland.
Roiland, yeah, that's it.
Mark, I will not stand for you trashing functional alcoholics. That's just
okay. Well,
That's where I you can be a functional alcoholic, buddy.
all you want. It's just as long as you don't say obnoxious shit, I'm fine with it. Like,
I try to avoid it.
Well, I also do
Yeah.
say obnoxious shit. I can't lie.
well, there you go. Then maybe you're a terrible person.
Leo, the last time you and I talked, we both ended up saying a bunch of obnoxious shit to each other. So, and Mark had to break us up.
Oh,
Did I?
I was
do not
there.
remember
I
this.
remember that.
I
Yeah.
Mark
remember
came
this at
back.
all.
I
Well,
made
don't
a
worry.
video
In the
clip of
meantime,
it.
I've said obnoxious stuff to Leo in the meantime, so don't worry about that.
I made a super cut out of that. Maya was here.
What was the discussion? I do not remember this even remotely.
Well, let's
it
not bring
really
it up
was
again,
just
or else.
we were talking past each other and just getting frustrated about it.
Does anybody remember
sounds like
what the
something
subject even was?
No idea. No idea.
Bree?
Apparently, it's on Bree's channel, so you can check it out and be reminded of the good times.
I wouldn't know what to search to look
It
for.
was the 500 sub celebration.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
On my channel, it's
go.
the one. It's the Leo Phyllis video. It's just a video about you. I have a whole bunch
Just
of clips
all
of
about-
you on there. You haven't even
all
watched
about
it.
Leo.
See, I make a whole video dedicated to you. You don't even watch it. Why do I even bother, Leo? There can't be.
I don't
There can't
know
be.
about
This
this
cannot.
stuff. I don't know.
This cannot be a one-sided relationship, sweetie.
I don't know. People would send me links to stuff. I'd know about this shit.
I think I tagged you in it.
Did you?
It's been a minute. It's been.
Oh,
Dude,
look,
I
the tagging system sometimes doesn't work. I think there's some problems with it because I've been tagged in like one of AJ's and nothing, and I've got like full notifications and it did not come up on my feed. I swear. So sometimes tagging works.
It is
for
kind of
some,
long.
sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. It's a pretty long one.
Well, I'm going to wrap it up here, people. So, thank you so much for coming on. I want to give a big shout out to our current panelists, Peter Wilberforce, for here from the start. Thank you so much, Leo. Love you, buddy. Thank you so much for coming on. And the
Great to see
beautiful
all of
Bree,
you.
thank you so much for coming on, Bree. It's so good to see. I love your Venus flytrap or your monster plant.
Yeah, I bet you do like that Venus flytrap.
Little shop of horrors.
Yeah, you want to get all trapped up. In
Yeah,
that
I was
Venus
talking to
flytrap,
Bree.
don't you?
I saw with my wife Björk's cornucopia performance, and it was all mycelium and sort of mycelial networks and stuff. It was uber cool, so cool. And I have to send you some pictures as well. Don't
Yeah,
let me
I said
forget,
something
Bree.
about that in the message.
Yeah, absolutely. But I want to thank Tux and Jay Pasick and P-Town for coming on. He didn't say much, but it was good to see P-Town hanging in there. And Math Pig came on. Always good to see him. Atheist Junior, thanks so much, buddy. Atheist Junior is one of my best friends, and he has supported my channel immeasurably. I do notice, and thank you so much, mate. Christopher Mowdy, thanks for joining us. And Nid Demos was on here as well, so thank you so much for that for coming on. And
Don't forget
hello.
this guy over here. You haven't mentioned them.
Who?
And
I mentioned Peter.
Subscribe.
I said Peter.
Yeah, he mentioned. He mentioned.
okay, I thought
but
you skipped
people
over Peter.
subscribe. Only
How dare you?
69. Only 69 more. Only 69. I mean, it's a nice number.
Yeah, it's nice.
9.
Just 69 people out there, please. 69.
Now,
Let's get him to 1,000.
I need 45. So.
Ooh. So before subscribing to me, go over to Breeze and subscribe to her.
I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to both already.
Subscribe to both.
That's all right. Yeah, no.
Leo's already there. Way to go,
Where
Leo.
am I at?
Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
1K.
Oh, I was about to say, wait, what did I do? What am I being celebrated for? What happened?
Yeah, you're so close, Bree. It's not
So
right.
are you?
Yeah, I don't know. I this has surprised me more than anybody else in the world. Trust me, I didn't see this coming, but
Yeah, you're doing amazing stuff. People like your debate style, your approach, your matter of fact style. It's
Oh, that's good because it's the only thing I know how to do. Like, that's the only thing I can do. I don't think I could put on a different style or a different person. I just go in and be myself. This is really how I am. So if you don't like that, that's cool. I'm good. That's just me. So, but thank you everybody so much for coming on. It means so much to me. Honestly, it's you're all very wonderful and I thank you all so much. It's been a wild ride and so much fun. And of course, I will get on your streams and drop in on you guys, and like I usually do. So yeah, and Peter's put out some content recently, so don't forget about him as well. Peter is working his way up as well. But thank you for everyone for joining me. Yeah, I noticed that you're
on Monday.
Sort of getting geared up, yeah. Which you've been sort of quiet for a long time, Peter, just doing work on everybody else. It's really good to you do.
I've been working on everybody else's channel, yeah.
Yeah,
Time to get
basically
back to my own channel.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're such a
absolutely.
sweet. Peter does it for
we've got a few
non-profit too. He just does it for the kindness of his own heart. It's so sweet.
Yeah. No, he makes our community really.
The Peter Foundation.
I still use
promoting
stuff that Peter
secularism
made for
all
me.
across YouTube.
To this day, I still use
secularism
stuff.
look good. Yes, making secularism look good. And he did the introduction for this channel as well. Don't forget. So if you like that, Peter.
And I love seeing my artwork on other channels. And Bree, I really like it that you're still using the stuff that I made for you. So it's
I
always
really
fun
need to do an introduction video though. I don't have an introduction video. I'm gonna have to look at other people's and figure out what the hell I'm doing. So
I don't have an introduction video.
I told Mark that he needed a video, like an advertisement video, so I could run it on my channel, but doesn't have one.
Look, you've made the grievous assumption that I know what I'm doing, Bree. You keep making this assumption, and I don't know why you keep deluding yourself that I actually know what I'm doing over here.
Well, your partner seems pretty brilliant on doing the thumbnails and stuff.
You said over here, but I think you meant under here.
In general. Huh? What?
You said over. You said you think I know what I'm doing over here, but I think you meant under here.
Under here. Thanks, Leo. Thank you for that Australian reference. Love you all. Thank you for joining me. It's been awesome.
Thanks for having.
As always, be kind to yourself and each other, and we can all get along and have a fantastic, perfect world, ideally. But thank you all so much, and do take care.
Thanks, Mark.